Today's episode of the One Piece podcast is sponsored by Right Stuf. Right Stuf sells all your favorite anime and manga for competitive prices. Check them out at rightstufanime.com and join the Got Anime Savings Club for additional discounts. Again, that's rightstufanime.com.
This is the One Piece Podcast, episode 392 for the week of Monday, November 2nd, 2015. My name is Zach.
And my name is Ed.
On today's show, we have tons of awesome special guests. Joining us for just the intro from the Cable News Network, we have Jose Argumedo. Hey, Jose.
Hey, everyone.
How are you doing?
Busy as all hell.
I can't even imagine.
It's been a crazy couple of weeks here at Turner. We recently unveiled a new logo. We got a whole new company statement, doing a whole bunch of new projects, and I just recently finished up a CNN story on Dragon Ball Z, which actually did a lot better than we thought it did. So maybe more anime in the future for CNN. Probably not, though.
I can't wait for CNN's late night anime block coming in 2018.
It's gonna be awesome. Also, we just wrapped on IGPX. So
congrats.
That is done.
Yeah, that's a big deal. You've been doing that forever.
Yeah, nice. You will be hearing something about that pretty soon.
Cool. We also have from Crunchyroll, in which his views and opinions do not express that company. We have Miles joining us again. Hey, Miles.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me again.
Not a problem.
I'm finally caught up.
Yeah, you're finally caught up. This is your first time on the podcast proper. We had you on a read through. How was the catch up? How was reading all that?
I felt like I got back a part of me that had been missing for about 1.5 2 years. So I'm in a really good place now.
We should talk a little bit more about that. Yeah.
Wait. So did you have a chance to read through all of Dressrosa completely marathon style?
I had not read since the very beginnings of Dressrosa.
Oh, that's awesome. I want to know how that felt.
I don't know how available you are, and I shouldn't be asking this on the air, but you should come on our read-through episode of that we're doing on Thursday. It's up to you. No pressure, Miles. By the way, since he's on, and this is, I think, always open as well, you could go to crunchyroll.com/One Piece Podcast, and you get a 30-day free trial for Crunchyroll. So if somehow you have not yet subscribed to Crunchyroll to get HD One Piece, every single episode in HD. I don't know if we've mentioned that enough here as well.
In addition to all kinds of anime.
And yeah, I forgot there are other shows. There's an attack of something. I don't remember what it was. Anyway, you could get all of those other shows.
Attack on Shirobako, right?
That's it. That's it.
That's
You could check all of that out. Oh, and JoJo's, which we did talk about a little bit last week. And the fourth part is coming at some point in the future. I don't think we have a date for that yet. But go to crunchyroll.com/One Piece Podcast. There's lots of great anime there. And not Star Trek yet, though. Right, Miles?
I'm working on it.
Okay, good.
On CBS every day.
We also have with us our editor-in-chief and author of Dangerous Faces, Jammer. Hey, Jammer.
Hola, how's it going?
It's going good. How's it going with you?
Going good, really busy. Dangerous Faces Volume 2 just hit Amazon, so check that out. And I have another book that's coming out in a couple weeks called The Awakened, so look out for that. It's like a little sci-fi book, so it'll be nice.
We also have with us Super Art Fight Guy, the dude.
Hey guys, how's it going?
It's going good. How's it going with you?
It's going pretty all right. Pretty all right. Pretty all right.
Thank you. We also have very special guests. Last but certainly not least, we have the translator for One Piece and Weekly Shonen Jump, Stephen Paul, with us. Hey, Stephen.
Hey guys, great to be here. Things are good.
Great.
So do your views and opinions reflect those of Viz?
No.
No, definitely not.
At this point, it's kind of
because I work with 3 different publishers. So.
I think at this point it's been kind of implied that Steven's opinions don't represent anything. He's been on long enough. Jose, we have you on just for this introduction segment, so I want to give you a chance to talk about what you came here to talk about, and that's not right. IGPX.
No, it's not. I wish I could talk about IGPX, but I can't.
No, we'll cut you off if you do.
we recently put out a couple of episodes of OPP Japan. Wow, flashbacks. Dallas. We did OPP Dallas episodes, and they were about Joel McDonald. We did an interview with Joel McDonald, who's current director of the One Piece dub, and us, three of us actually here in the chat in the booth, voicing
You mean
extras in One Piece.
Four of us here. Everyone but
No.
Steve is here.
Yeah, who's not?
Jammer, you, me, and Ed is 4.
Oh, right. There were 5 people. I wasn't including. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
And yeah, it was a fun time. We are trying to get those episodes out as quickly as possible. You may have seen the notes. It's already November, so clearly we did not finish OPP Dallas in October like we planned.
Yeah, I figured that was going to happen. You've been busy. You've been busy, Jose.
Yeah, and I haven't even been editing most of OPP Dallas. It's actually been my friend Luis, who's another CNN editor, who we literally got into One Piece thanks to OPP Dallas. Like, he is now watching the anime and trying to get through it. And the cool thing about doing this series is, like, with him, it's been kind of a cool thing for me just to learn how to be a post-production supervisor, which is something I've done before, but not to this extent, and know when to try to hound him and be like, hey, you need to edit this. And he's like, well, I'm doing other stuff because I'm busy. Well, he's like, why don't you do it? And I'm like, well, I'm busy.
It was really cool voice acting, and it was
Yeah,
a
that
lot
was
of
a
fun.
lot of fun.
And it was ridiculous, the quote-unquote voice acting we did. As people know, I am fantastic at my dramatizations.
Zach has one voice. Hearing it right now.
You were super awesome. It was like flashbacks of doing voiceovers with you on
Oh.
OPP Japan.
Oh, shut up.
It was like, oh, I know that voice.
It's my only voice. It's just my voice. Anyway, Walla is one of the most fun things. It's
It is
tough.
super fun, but
It's tough though. Yeah, it's the whole thing is just like it's kind of exhausting, which is not what I expected. We'll probably talk more about that in the future, though. I don't want to
Means-
bog down this intro.
Yeah, me and Steve were actually talking about it when we were in Dallas. Like, we had to go get water because we were like, this is actually more taxing than we thought. Like, it takes a toll on you.
So you're saying voice acting requires the voice? I'm learning new things every day.
No, and we learned how to be voice actors. So you can now ask us and invite us to conventions. We can
Fly
We
you
can-
out.
yeah.
We all said one line and yelled in the background and hailed Satan. It was all great. Check out the video though, youtube.com/One Piece Podcast. Do you know around when episode 5 is coming out? The Empire Strikes Back.
Episode 5 is coming. I want to say this week, but probably not.
Okay.
And I also want to say next week, but probably not either, because I'm going to be flying around the country for a bit.
You want to say a lot of things.
So the next episode will be out in November. Thank you, Jose.
It's
for
November
the update.
right now, Zach.
Exactly. Thank you for the
November
update, Jose.
something 2015.
And before Jose leaves, you're working on a bunch of other projects. You might as well say them quickly here.
Everything on Discotheque's holiday lineup.
Okay, cool.
That's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
I not everything. That's not true. I worked on the upcoming Night of the Galactic Railroad Blu-ray. So please check that.
Oh, classic. Sorry,
That
I
is
got
a
really
classic
excited.
film. I worked not a lot on that. Most of my efforts are on IGPX, but I also did a little bit of work on Street Fighter 2. And I hope to be doing some work on Wicked City. So fingers crossed on that one because I really want to work on that.
All right, cool. Jose, we hope to have you back when you finally catch up. Is this guilting? Is this guilting too much?
I'm literally flying. I'm in a plane like all next week, so that's all I'll have to do is just read One Piece.
All right.
So I'll catch up.
All right, tweet about it if you have the internet. I'm curious. Why don't we get into the show? Ready, guys?
Okay.
This is the manga recap for chapter 805, The Minks. Ed, what's going on the cover page here? It looks like something different.
Yeah, we're starting something new. Limited cover series number 22, Decks of the World. So, about to take a trip all around the world. Hopefully the East Blue first.
Hey, and we have a cameo here.
Yes, it's Tsurume, the Kraken, and he is torturing a ship.
Is that what you
Look at
call
that
it?
thing. He's holding it upside. He's holding it upside down,
Yeah.
shaking it out to get the tasty morsels inside. They do eat humans, right?
I'm sure.
It would be a waste if you didn't.
Yeah.
He's just having fun.
You can't just shake the ship around and not eat the humans.
So
So,
they're gonna go around the world.
yeah, I'm a little surprised this is coming so soon. We kind of just had one of
Yeah.
these. I mean, it was Fishman Island, but it wasn't that long ago. In
It
One
was
Piece, in the One
2,
Piece
3
time.
years ago. Well, I think that we're showing that people are gonna start getting together more. You know,
Mm.
so
Well,
people
in
could
the
be
One
into it.
Piece timeline, it's only been a week since
Maybe
the
it's
last one.
well, maybe it's different characters. Maybe it's ones we haven't seen before.
Maybe.
I mean,
Yeah.
like in this setting. So
Yeah. It does feel a little surprising. That's like, okay, we're doing this again. Like it hasn't been that long, but to be honest, like I kind of prefer this to like seeing Adventures of Caribou and stuff. So
Agreed.
Oh.
Bellamy.
Wait, you
Yeah.
don't like the Adventures of Caribou?
No.
Not for half a year.
yeah.
Yeah, that's accurate.
And also, these usually don't last as long.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are
Well-
usually shorter.
They can.
Yeah. The first time he did it was long, but yeah, I don't think it'll be as long because like how many different ways? I mean, they're just going to be reacting to the bounties, so you know how much can you really show with that? So
Mhm.
yeah, I feel like it'll be a shorter one.
Good point.
Oh, how you underestimate Oda.
Now, Makino's baby is 2 weeks old, instead of just one. Anyway, no, I'm sure he was older than that. Any other thoughts on this?
No, I'm happy to see it though.
Ed, why don't we start the chapter?
Right, when Zoro is reacting to the weapon that was used on him at the end of the last chapter, he felt the momentary electric shock, and the little she's a bunny, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
her name is
she's
Carrot.
Carrot, right? I've already forgotten. Carrot hears about the intruders in the whale forest from the one riding the big boar croc. She explains that it's bad news, and this might anger the guardians, the intruders. You know, are the intruders, are they humans or animals?
I think that's
and-
what Frankie's asking.
Yeah, and Usopp is also very insistent on learning where she got those clothes and what she did to Nami. And Robin chimes in, maybe they ate her, or maybe they eat people.
I know Jose's not here, but was that Toonami a Toonami reference, or
What did you do
to Toonami? I'm
Oh.
sorry, it just
What did you do to the podcast, Zach?
look. I merged it into. I'm sorry. That's all I have to say.
So she like kneels down, or she squats down. She bounds all the way up because she's a bunny. She can jump high. And Usopp runs and hides, crying. He's like, "Oh, sorry, please, honey." Hey. And Frankie is astonished by her jumping power. The power of the Minks. Is this what they are capable of? And
They are women of such high fighting power, jumping power. Sorry.
and she's going up to see if what's going on, and let's see if she sees anything. Next page.
Yeah. And she calls out and says, "Yeah, I can see him. We might be a little too late though. There's a disturbance in the whale forest, and straight through Kurao City. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then we have the dog lady saying, 'I should have figured. Let's hurry, Warnie.' And she tells Carrot to get on. And she tells the Straw Hats, like, we don't have the time to take Utia there. Now, this is the first time we actually have her speech quirk, right, Steven?
Yeah. She used this in the last chapter at the very end, but it was kind of like, well, we don't know how to handle it quite yet. And so there was a lot of discussion about this. And I came up with my own idea. It's really hard to explain, and it would take a long time to go into, but basically it's
Please.
kind of like she replaces the word or the letter chi with like tia in her speech, but only when referring like as a pronoun, so like you tia, we tia, but it's like Japanese versions of that. And I originally had said, okay, well, if she's replacing chi with tia, then maybe it's like she can't really make that cha sound. And so I came up with a different version of that where it's like she can't say the, So like instead of saying those, she would say toes, or like there would be tear, and stuff like that. And the rest of the editorial staff was like, nah, we'll go with kind of like a more direct representation of it. And so yeah, unfortunately I really can't say like what the etymology of this is or what Oda is trying to do with it. It's really actually kind of confusing, and so I think anybody who like is reading this in English and is like, what the hell is she talking about? You're not alone, because like pretty much everyone in Japan reading the Japanese version is kind of in the same boat. And I
think you told us that maybe Oda is getting a little carried away with.
Yeah, I think my words maybe to Greg was that he needs an accent intervention, because it was really confusing. And then I'll mention it again, but there's actually a different one used later in the chapter. It's just hard to know because there was no introduction to it. It's just like Oda just kind of throws you in there, and it's especially hard. Like the translator, it's like he's basically just throwing us under the bus, because it's like, okay, go ahead, guess what my ingenious plot is here, and we have no idea. So that's kind of what we're going with now. I mean, who knows?
I think someone needs to send you Oda's direct line. I think that'll just solve this issue.
I need the red phone to the Kremlin.
The fish phone.
Yeah, the snail phone to Oda. It is a bit confusing, but that's kind of, that's Oda for you. He kind of throws you into the deep end, and you have to piece it together as you go along. So, that's what we got.
Did we get through that whole page? I don't even remember.
Almost. I am near the tail end. This part actually
was that a pun, by the way?
What did I say?
The tail end?
No. Did I say that?
That was bad. I apologize. I'll leave.
Anyway, I like this part right here where the lady, she gives instructions to the Straw Hats and talking about how on the right is the right rump forest. Head there and turn left at the deep dark swamp, and then head for right flank forest. The bodies of your friends are there, and I think it's pretty cool how they sort of section
off.
off
the name. I love the names.
Yeah, section off like based on like the
cut of meat.
The cut of meat of the elephant.
I'll take the right rump of the giant elephant, please.
Yeah. Anyway, then Usopp does not like that, and apparently neither does what's his name?
Frankie?
Yeah, Frankie. Once again,
who's that guy?
Trevor, I didn't think
what's wrong with you?
Anyways, they continue. He says, "Wait for us to the right flank forest, and we'll find you there." And they're just like, "Where again? Whatever." And while they're in there, I think it's Carrot talking right now. It's not Carrot. It's the other girl asking if they're going to be all right. And I believe who's talking on this one right here. Steven, do you know?
I think that's Carrot saying that's the Straw Hat Pirates.
Okay, because I know at first I was like, "Wait a second, the alligator thing's not talking right." I wasn't quite sure.
No.
Yeah.
By the way, Warney, if you remember from Alabasta, Wani is crocodile. So he just elongated the sound, so it's Wani. And so I put that as Warney, like Marnie.
It's like Long Ring, Long Land, I guess.
Yeah,
except it's not Wani.
No.
So then Carrot says they're gonna be shocked, and then the other lady is like, "Yeah, well, that can't be done. What's done is done." And it's like, "Oh, what happened to the other Straw Hats? We don't know." And she says the one who just infiltrated the Royal Forest is most likely the pirate Straw Hat Luffy. He must be their captain, but even he will receive no mercy.
Normally, I'm not for saying things verbatim, but I think this needs to be slightly translated from their Tia. The more I see Warney, the more I like him. I know, dude, you were talking a lot about him last week.
Yeah,
he's cool. I like him. Steven, keep us going.
Cool design. So Usopp picks up on the mention of the bodies of their friends, and he's like, they've all been killed. He's thinking the worst. Robin points out very astutely, well, if their bodies are still intact, then we know they weren't eaten. And Usopp is like, that is not the salient point in that piece of conversation.
You're out of your element, Usopp.
Yeah. And Zoro's like, okay, calm down, twirly brows with them. He wouldn't let that happen. Nobody's dead. Don't worry. And Frankie says, "Yeah, that's right. They wouldn't go down that easy. It's a trap to rattle and manipulate us." He could pretty much be talking about Oda right now.
I feel like some pent up tension with you and Oda tonight.
Yeah.
Oda made me translate all these goofy shit.
I will say this, Stephen, when it comes to that translation, I do kind of like the fact that it's written in a way where you could mentally block out the second half of the word and you can easily understand it. You don't have to like piece it together constantly. So I think that's one strength of that way that it's being used right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I did the next chapter and I felt more comfortable with it after that one. So we'll get used to it. Anyway,
spoilers, jeez.
Robin says, "Yeah, that doesn't make any sense." And Traffy, your crew is supposed to be here too. Are you able to get in touch with them? And then Law drops a bombshell here. He's like, "No, well, I mean, I didn't expect to ever see them again after all." Like basically reminding everyone, yeah, that's right. He was on a suicide mission to take out Doflamingo.
I just read that today when he confessed to Doflamingo on the bridge that the alliance was over and he planned on dying.
Yeah. And basically like putting it into the context of like, oh yeah, his crew, like they have no idea about this. And he's just like, yeah, whatever. I don't know. I didn't expect to see him. And he forgot he had their viewer card, which belongs to Beppo. And we get some confirmation here. Usopp asks, all right, the tucking polar bear, is he a mink too? Yes, he is. So Beppo originally came from Zo. This is his hometown, but he doesn't remember much because he left at a young age. So he's been with Law for a decade. He can be trusted. I mean, he's not going to turn on him now because they're in Zo in his homeland. But they can head straight to him if they want an accurate picture of what's going on.
Ed, I think you could pick up here even. I guess there's an Oda box.
I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
I was talking to Greg about this the other day, about Beppo, and I didn't notice about his name how I didn't really get that he was a polar bear until Usopp said it. I just figured, it's just a white bear. Like Beppo would be like bear polar, like Beppo.
That never occurred to me either.
Yeah. I think isn't there a character in some literature named Beppo with like two P's? Or no, it's short for like Giuseppe. It's like an Italian. Like I don't know. I forget where I was reading that.
Geppetto.
There's an Italian place with
Buca di Beppo.
Buca di Beppo.
There you go.
No, that's an actual place. I mean,
yeah, no, I know.
No, Steven, it's a place.
My name is Roma.
So Usopp says, yeah, I think there was a town straight ahead, but is it safe? And Zoro's like, whatever. Why are we going to trust that weird animal? We'll just go there. We'll trust our own instincts. Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, in the whale forest, some happenings are happening.
Yeah, stop. Beppo says, "That's enough. Stop right there. I know that guy." And but Luffy is bending backwards. He's going for his attack either way. And there is a bull, and who doesn't really care. He says, "No, I'm not. He's still an intruder."
That's why you wanted this page.
That and also this. It's Luffy lets out his attack, Gum Gum Bell, and the bull has a pain in his gulliver.
That's right. It's Russian for head.
Oh wow, that makes so much sense.
So I guess he has a Russian accent.
I got a pain in my gulliver. I'm living in a cuckoo clock.
What? Yeah, no, a lot of people know that because it is from Clockwork Orange that they use that.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Luffy and the bull go head to head. So this is a last two arcs where Luffy has fought a bull. And here comes another speech tick. There's a giant ape, and he says, "Why doesn't the electro work on him?"
Yeah, that's the other thing that I was mentioning. It was originally same thing as the Utia thing, except it was gotta. So it'd be like, you gotta, he gotta sort of thing. And so this was the thing. This was the initial thing, and then they decided to change it back to the other thing. So this is actually going to have to change. You'll see in the next chapter where you get more of the accents.
I think he only says one thing here.
So yeah, it's only the one here. Yeah.
Also interesting to see Luffy and Electricity going head to head again
Well, we should have
Oh.
suspected that from last chapter when Zoro got attacked with the electricity
Well,
glove.
no, it's interesting to see Luffy again showing off the fact that he is rubber and that electricity does not affect him.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
hey, add this to Greg's giant error list. Like right off the bat.
Oh yeah, I saw
The
this.
gorilla
too.
guy's missing his mustache.
Yep.
Like right from the beginning, right his first appearance.
First appearance and in a panel like almost side by side.
Yeah.
Or maybe all the mustaches are an error.
That makes less sense.
But and then we see the pirate Jean Bart, who was liberated at Sabaody, and he interjects, to say, "Well, we just had to stop him by force." And Ape Face doesn't like that at all. And he judo throws Jean Bart, telling him to not interfere. And Jean Bart's a big dude, so that's
He's
impressive.
also still injured. He's still bandaged.
Well,
It's
I
about-
assume it's not from two. They're all bandaged, so something
know,
clearly happened.
I think it's just quite
Oh,
fashionable.
that's true.
Like maybe Jean Bart brought a new sense of fashion into Law's crew, so everybody else decided,
Well,
hey, bandages are neat. Let's do it.
no, but it makes sense from what we find out at the end of this chapter that they be bandaged.
True, but
Yeah.
just to note, both sides of this are bandaged to the point where
Oh,
Ook Ook is covered in bandages and has a sling as well.
Maybe they were fighting on the same side.
Maybe.
So Penguin and Shachi are there, and crap, we can't keep them under control. These two humans stand no chance. And someone lands. They say, "Stop right there, Guardians."
By the way, the One Piece podcast has one ship that we universally endorse, and that's Penguin and Shachi.
That's right, Penguin and Shachi.
It's our OTP.
It's our OTP.
it's our Craig and Tweet.
Miles.
It will be the One Piece spinoff that will happen. Penguin and Shachi, and it'll last
Except
for
for the
13
other two that-
episodes.
Except for the other two that have already happened.
Right, like
One Piece Party.
Oh yeah,
No,
One
I was-
Piece
I
Party
was-
and Chopper Man.
No, I was trying to think of something that was sort of like Mork and Mindy, but with One Piece names. Because Joni Loves Chachi was a Happy Day spinoff, and so was Laverne
Wait,
Show.
Oars and Sindri.
Okay,
Okay.
They rhyme. I
That's a
don't know.
stretch.
kind of.
I'll take.
Anyway,
Go ahead.
So next we get the two original. I was about to call them mongooses. No, we get Carrot yelling and bananas being thrown, and a very angry. Oh, what's the bull's name? Look at this. We just
right
talked
there.
about this a moment ago.
It's
Wait,
right.
really
It's
quick.
on the
Right there.
bottom
It's
there.
right
yeah.
there.
really quick,
Okay,
the attack name
perfect.
is that like
Robbie.
is that the attack name? Something wavy? What is that?
Well, he's a bull. He's a
No,
bull.
he's-
You throw a
she-
wavy
she's
thing.
just-
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
throwing something at him.
Oh, because that just reminded me of like 21 Jump Street or 22 Jump Street, where they throw out something cool. I wasn't quite sure what that was supposed to mean.
No,
Yes,
they're
Jeremy, I'm sure this is a 22 Jump Street reference.
It could be. It could totally be.
His name is up.
I mean, we can tell in this glorious black and white that Oda gave us that this is a red cape
Yeah.
Yes.
that was thrown by
Mhm.
Carrot, and so we get the bull acting like a bull and ramming headfirst into a tree. Poor Roddy, and then we get Blackback excited about bananas, and these two ferocious. I want to call them chimeras, but they're not. Are taken out of the fight.
They're minks.
Minks.
Yeah.
They're
There we
Mink
go.
Guardians. Mink Guardians.
2-page spread of Minks being satisfied and no longer fighting.
Yeah.
I love how his
And,
horns are stuck in the tree.
Yeah, and speaking of him, I'm 100% positive that naming choice was Oda's tribute to the recently departed Rowdy Roddy Piper, famous
right.
wrestler and
Right, 'cause
actor.
he's into wrestling, and I think BB is BB King. Also a play on Silverback Gorilla, but Oda is also like a big
Mm.
blues fan, right? So I feel like it might be a
Sounds right.
Could be,
Yeah.
you know.
I like both of the names for various
Mhm.
reasons. No, this is a great color. This is not color spread. This
Color
is two-page spread. I imagine it in color, but
Aren't you colorblind?
that's why I assumed it was in color. Low blow, Jammer.
yeah. Aim above the
I do
belt
also-
next time, buddy.
Oh man,
Go ahead, Miles. Sorry.
Beppo's just got his mouth wide open for whatever reason over Roddy, which I think is a great little detail.
Oh
But
yeah.
no, it's just a nice little 2-page spread.
It took me a second to find them. Also, Penguin and Shachi in the tree.
It's the
Looking
only
at
safe
the
place for them.
horns, yeah.
Yeah.
Are they KS? Never mind. Damn it! Joke ruined. I'm done.
Wait, what
That's what happens when I ruin a joke. I don't know. Are they KISSING? That was-
They undoubtedly are. I didn't realize we had a one true pair, but we do. No, I love this. I love this whole spread, but mostly I love everything BB has done in this entire chapter so far.
BB-8.
BB-8, exactly. BB ate bananas.
Yeah, he did.
He did. Dude,
Episode
what's
title,
next?
write it down.
Did you guys notice like all the big fruit? Like that looks like
They're like
those looks like
pears?
huge grapes also.
Shaiji ahead.
Yeah, like right by Penguin and Shachi, in between them and Warney, there's like because those look like grape
Oh
leaves.
yeah.
Oh yeah, look, there's also a giant pineapple to the left of that. I think that's a
Yeah.
pineapple.
Hmm.
Or a palm
With the
tree.
black on the bottom.
I
There's a
can't
lot of
tell.
cool fruits here.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are probably palm trees. But
The big ass grape berries taste like dude.
And remember, they're all growing off of an
Back of an elephant, yeah.
Yeah,
ugh.
it's that nutrient, skin nutrients.
What's next, dude?
So Luffy is the first to notice the minks that show up, and to which he says a dog, and she says, "You saw me, Straw Hat Luffy."
Oh no! You're off the
Bounce on
podcast.
Yeah. So we get names for the two characters. Well, we got Carrot already. She is a rabbit mink, and the dog mink is named Wanda, which is a play off of the Japanese onomatopoeia for a dog barking, wan wan.
Are you just gonna gloss over the battle beasts?
I was getting to that, but
Oh my
the
God.
wan wan thing actually cracked me up the first time I read this chapter. Yeah, and Stephen made the glorious choice of calling them battle beasts. Or is that a direct translation?
That is a direct translation.
Wow.
I mean,
nice.
it wasn't in English. It was in kanji, but yeah, that's
Up
So I
next,
go-
battle
So-
beasts. After that, Power Rangers.
So what do you think? So battle beasts, huh? What do you think? What do you think? One in Carrot's elements are wood, fire, or water? Nobody's gonna get that.
You got so nerdy right now. Can't stand it.
Well, fucking Google
Anime
battle
podcast,
beasts.
Jammer, get over yourself.
That was a joke.
All right. So she introduces herself as Wanda. We mean no harm, so stop resisting. And he says, "Man, this place is full of mysterious people. It's like an island full of choppers," which I think we made reference to last episode.
I mean, I have to say, I think we called things pretty damn well last week.
Yeah.
yeah.
With a bunch of things, not just that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I can't wait till Chopper, sees the two of them. Gets a huge old nosebleed. A nosebleed in the shape of a furry animal. I don't know, like a rabbit.
Don't assume all guys are like Sanji.
Well, if that happens, that's when we'll use the title "Neo Furry is about to explode."
Yeah.
I think we
We're
get a little glimpse
sleeping.
of that in this chapter later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Luffy mentions to them, "Well, I didn't do anything. They just attacked me." And Wanda, as she licks his forehead, as a dog would, because that's who entered the Forbidden Forest. I was talking to Greg about this scene too, and he gave the most SBS-like answer I've ever heard, which was, "Oh yeah, she probably licked him because he smells like meat."
I really like that.
I like the way Luffy is in a huff. You can literally see the huff raising off of his head as he's pointing at "they attacked me."
Yeah, he's in a bit of a tizzy. And Wanda tells the Guardians to forgive him and that she'll take him away once. And we see a silhouetted figure whom I'm pretty sure is a lion.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting note I want to mention while we're on this little panel.
I thought it was a bear at first, but like I said, just talking to Greg about this, and he was like, "Nah, look at it again."
No, I agree. It looks like a lion. I was talking on 20 minutes of bullshit with Dude and Steve about my weird safari California experience thing. And we saw some zebras, and some of the zebras have the ear that's kind of cut off like this lion here, which is usually, I believe, a result of fighting amongst each other, or it's something caused by stress or something along those lines. So it was a cool little detail. That I
Oh,
saw.
cool.
Yeah.
Do you think there's going to be like a little story behind that, or is it just going to be a little cute reference?
We don't know how big this character is, and do we know
Yeah.
we know the name of this one, right? Did they say?
We're about
Pedro?
That's right here.
we're about to get to him,
Sorry,
Pedro.
dude.
Yeah, he as you can see from the background, he's up in the canopy. So he is way up there, checking out everything. And he says, "Out of respect for you, Wanda, pull back, you guys." So she mentions his name, Pedro, and I have no idea if that's a play on anything.
Well, there was a band called Pedro the Lion.
Exactly, yeah, American indie band, which it was fairly well known in Japan. So, like, if you just Google like Pedro and Lion in katakana, like that just pops up all over the results. So,
Oh, good.
it's
Well,
that's
kids
kind
who
of
were really into emo in high school were into that band.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. I'm as I go through all these chapters now, I'm exceedingly curious at every single name that Oda's throwing out for these minks. I think he's in top form. So he shouts for all the members to withdraw, and you hear all this rustling around from Luffy, and he is super surprised as we go to the next page.
Steven.
And that is me. So Luffy is he is surprised. I guess I'm a little surprised too that he didn't realize they were surrounded. But I don't know. I mean, I guess it's Luffy. He gets tunnel vision.
Well, maybe it goes to their abilities also.
Yeah, that's true.
And maybe they didn't have any like malicious intent toward him. I feel like he would notice that with his hockey.
True.
Also, I didn't notice that he still had the scrape from headbutting. Sorry, I'll stop now.
He's got a bruise on his forehead.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. And Wanda says, be grateful that it was not a moonlit night. And he is a bit confused by that.
Oh, One Piece connection conspiracies.
Oh.
No, I mean, it's because I think he would have seen all of their bright, shining eyes. It would have been creepy.
I guess that's a less fun reason.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah,
it's less fun. It is a less fun reason.
I'm still not sure what to think about that because Luffy at least is confused by it. But that is swept aside because there's Beppo, and he's like, "Hey, Stride, don't you remember us? Yeah, we helped you out after the Paramount War. I can't believe you don't remember." And no, actually, he does remember them. He's like, "Hey, you're Traffy's talking bear." And Beppo is like, "What, Traffy? No, I work for Trafalgar Law. You know, heart pirates. You know, law." And Luffy's like, "Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. Booty traps." He's like, "No, Traffy." And we find out that yes, of course, this is Beppo. We knew that, and that he was the navigator of the Heart Pirates. But in parentheses here, he is an assistant guardian. So apparently, he's kind of considered to be part of the group that was, watching out for the forest.
So, dude, we were saying the hierarchy thing. It sounds like we're kind of getting that here.
Yeah,
perhaps.
Which is interesting because I don't think they've mentioned Lesser Minks since the last chapter, and maybe that's probably just their name for humans. But I don't know. Like this is, the jury's still out on that, I guess.
Maybe the more animalistic they look, the higher.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
So are normal animals like way up there?
They're the super
They're the kings.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, if they're on an elephant,
yeah, and the elephant
think that elephant is the god because
Yeah.
it's no human characteristics whatsoever.
Perfect. That might be
That's a
it.
good theory.
I like the reverse, if that's true, the kind of reverse of what we would think of things as, and I would like that philosophy. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like four legs good, 2 legs bad.
Some weird, like Zardoz, like on one too.
So Penguin and Shachi are like, "Oh yeah, man, we saw the newspaper. Wow, that's crazy, huh? We're in an alliance, I guess. That's crazy." And yeah, is the captain with you? Where is he? And he's like, "Yeah, Trappy's with us." And they're just flipping out. They're like, "Who is that?" And they all do the little pose now, the I pose with Beppo, which is great.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Traffy's Law. Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know. Okay, then he is here. Great. Oh, that's awesome." And they're really excited. They just want to see the captain. They miss him so much.
I love how pissed off. I love how pissed off Beppo gets. Like, no, it's not. Like, no, they won't.
Is this the first time we're seeing Penguin and Shachi's new hats? By the way, in this chapter,
Yeah.
I think so.
They have new hats.
They have new hats.
Yeah, it's just like the new Malibu Stacy. Penguin's hat actually looks like a penguin, and Shachi's hat actually looks like a Shachi.
All right, guys, I have a theory.
Didn't he have one before?
I didn't think so. I thought it was just a regular old hat.
I think
but
they just had the regular hat. Yeah.
unless somebody wants to check.
I will, but you guys could talk while I do.
What if Penguin? What if?
Oh
Penguin,
wait, I just need to look at my wallpaper.
What if Shachi was wearing Penguin's hat?
Yeah, no, they had.
Shit.
Oh no, maybe it was like a different type of shark because it was just this gray hat. I don't know.
Weird.
Yeah, I thought it was just a regular old
Well, now it's a killer whale. So
Well,
actually,
that's
it
what-
doesn't-
That's
what
what.
Shachi
yeah.
is
that's what
in
shachi
Japanese.
is. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I thought it was like a shot, like a shark goes shot, right? Isn't that one
Oh.
of the onomatopoeia?
No,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is.
Shachi is a killer whale.
Okay, I'm sorry.
A whale can go shasha if it wanted.
I only know that from that stupid whale in Fishman Island that just was. What was his name again? How am I forgetting this?
Hoe.
Way.
No, Hoe.
Whale. I forgot.
Sorry, no, the
Whale.
stupid shark, not the stupid way I meant to say.
Megalo.
Megalo. Everyone's favorite.
Well, the shark in the Davy Back fight also went Shasha as well.
Right, you're right.
Anybody remember his name? Not Capote. Monda.
Mondo, yeah. Capote was the other guy. So we move on to Kurao City in the middle of the island's back. And Robin is putting together some of the pieces here. She's like, well, I think we can assume that there was an attack here because this place is big enough to hold hundreds of thousands, and yet there is not a sign, there's not a soul to be seen. And Usopp predictably is freaking out. He just wants to find the rest of the crew and scram. And Robin she's doing like the Vesuvius thing. She's like, look, there are signs of recent activity. There's food here that people were cooking and they left. So clearly it was recent. And
on that day, Robin thought of a new recipe: chicken Vesuvius.
Nice. And Usopp is now he's freaking out because they want to be out in the open like this. You never know who could be watching, waiting to strike. And Zoro sees what looks like a gnarly crucifixion stand here, in a big X. Wondering if it's a torture device. There's shackles on it. It looks like blood stains. And Frankie's not even sure if it's human because there are these giant slash marks on the walls. They look like bad news.
Bad news bears, even.
Bad news bears.
Well, literally could be bad news bears. We go to the next page as we see giant footprints. And they ask, what was this from? Is this from an elephant?
Ooh.
Which would be an elephant on an elephant, I guess? Is that confusing?
Elephant
That's
section.
something.
It sounds like exhibits on Zoe. Yo, dog,
Yeah.
I heard you like elephants, so I'll put an elephant on your elephant.
I didn't realize you meant the exhibit.
Yeah. There's
Or
some kind
maybe,
of trippy elephants on parade thing going on here.
Yeah.
or
Now, would that
It's
mean the
Zoe's
elephant's the big
salute to
boss?
Hannibal crossing the Alps.
Miles, what was yours?
I mean, does that mean that if there is an elephant here, that they're the big boss of this whole place? Frankie wouldn't say elephant specifically unless it was either an elephant or something pretending to be an elephant.
Yeah, it has to be similar.
It could also be the remake we've all been waiting for, and that's Elephant Inception. Elephantception?
Elephantception.
Elephantception.
There we go.
Maybe it's Weevil.
I hate you.
Ooh.
No, I guess it could be. Oh, that's true because he's a elephant bug, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like his fucking mustache makes him look like an elephant with the tusks.
That's true too.
Yeah.
We don't
He's
know
a
if he has devil
big
fruit
guy.
yet either.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Maybe it's Jack.
if it's not an elephant, it could be a monster or a wild beast. We don't know what it is yet, but we're for some reason all trusting Frankie on this.
Maybe it's a Cloverfield.
There you go.
Okay.
Where's the found footage?
Law says, given the claw marks, it probably was infighting, and Robin says, all that's certain is that this country has had a swift and dramatic collapse that only happened a week or two ago. And Usopp predictably worries about Sanji's team. And Luffy is asking, collapsed? And he said, oh, that's why there's no one around. And we finally... Should I try saying this in Japanese again?
No.
The Mokomo Dukedom has which we saw on the... we talked about it a lot last week. Let's just put it at that. Has existed for centuries, but then just half a month ago, so pretty good guess from Robin, she remembers seeing the smiling faces and happy dances of all her friends.
Keep going. Gotta roll.
Anyway, she says the name of the one person, the one who ruined our land, is Jack.
Jack who? Jack who?
Is Jack a rabbit?
Is his last
Oh
name?
my god.
Is his last name Mihoff?
No.
Well, thank God for that.
That one took me a while.
Isn't she talking about the Jack that works for Kaido?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, who else?
It's
Yeah.
clear. We're all
Clearly,
making
there's
jokes.
only one person named Jack in this entire
No.
world, and it has to be that one.
Jack's a pretty common name.
Not in the One Piece world where people are named Carrot.
Unless you know, well, his name is Jack, but if you know him really well, it's John.
Well, if he's a mink, do you think his name kind of is like a pun off of something?
It could be a rabbit.
Rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said rabbit.
Yeah, and she's a bunny girl, not a rabbit girl. You see, those are two different things: bunnies and rabbits.
No, they're not.
Anyway, the chapter continues as an earthquake begins, and we find out it's another. We saw this in chapter 795. It's another rain-ruption. So they get ready to climb into the trees, but meanwhile, the Wan
Yes.
asks Luffy to jump onto Warney, and they'll go into the tasty right flank. To their everyone likes flank.
You know, if Homer was here, he'd be like carving out a piece of like the skin and just like roasting it.
So they head toward where Sanji is, but Wanda looks concerned, and probably because she thinks they're dead, but they're not probably. Anyway,
I don't know. It's hard to tell what prompted her to have that face. Maybe the name Sanji.
yeah, true. He probably sexually harassed the hell out of her.
No, well, I mean, like think back to the Wanted poster. Still alive.
Yeah.
Wanted still alive. Maybe, and you know that theory going around that he's some sort of person of importance, and that's the reason. Like, I don't know. Maybe there's a connection.
That's possible,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we don't know.
He's the man of the hour.
Let's go around the table. Give thoughts, opinions, all that stuff. Dude, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I loved it. I love seeing more of Zoe. This man. Remember our last chapter when I called that like the next time we see Luffy would be like 10 chapters from now? Pacing in this chapter is fan-fucking-tastic. Like you got right to all the important stuff. Everybody's gonna get back together pretty soon. You can tell because you know Luffy's with Beppo and them. They've got the other team has the Vivre card, and Luffy and them are going to get Sanji. So yeah, we're gonna get the crew back together pretty fucking quick. It seems like,
especially if there's a gigantic flood. Then who knows what's gonna happen after?
Oh Jesus, yeah. Well, we've got the Minks. They're fucking awesome. They're all great. I'm loving every single design so far. And another cool thing that we haven't seen in a long time was Robin doing some archaeological work. That's something we've seen for a while.
I don't know if I call it archaeological because it's just soup that was left over.
but she inferred using her like skills that like
It's
this
anthropology.
happened. Yeah, this happened about a week or two ago.
This was some chicken Vesuvius that was left over.
Well, no, it reminds me of when she was inspecting the skull that fell from the sky.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of want to see more of that because like you forget that Robin is there because she's an archaeologist.
Right.
Yeah.
Miles, what did you think?
So I was really pleased with the world building. We got a lot of it last chapter, and I didn't know if it was going to keep going or if they were going to jump into the story, but they kind of did both. My appetite is both whetted, and I feel really like satisfied with the full chapter. There was a lot of stuff in this one chapter.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm pretty satisfied.
Good. Stephen.
Yeah, well, you know, I had a difficult time with this chapter. We've had our ups and downs.
Well, wait, Stephen, I remember you said, didn't we have a piece together set questions like, how long does it take you to translate the average chapter?
God.
And what did you say,
Yeah.
like 3 hours or something?
Yeah, 4 hours. Kind
So
of
how long
depends
did
on
this-
the number of pages. Oh man, I mean, it was like I joked on Twitter that it was 3 times as much. It was probably more like 5 or 6 hours. But it was rough, and it's one of those things. Like I think the more we will see of this arc, you know, the less it will seem like a weird outlier when you kind of understand the context of things later on. But coming across them, you know, cold without having had any warm up to like what the speech patterns and kind of like the cultural background of this island, and like, what's the deal with the Guardians? What are the differences between the different groups? Like, why are there two different accents? Stuff like that. It's really hard to translate properly because Oda, like, providing like tantalizing hints that you don't understand at first is like his bread and butter. Like, he's one of the best at it. But it really keeps you on your toes as a translator. And I really, it was a long process to get it to anything resembling, something that I felt okay with. But aside from, my professional gripes, I do love the chapter a lot. I like how tight the storytelling is so far. We're getting lots and lots of new details. Now, granted, that's kind of the way that Dressrosa started too. Like, I remember the first several, let's say like 5 to 10 chapters of Dressrosa being just like this endless cavalcade of like new exciting details and wondering where the hell it was all going. And then it kind of ended up being a little too much. I don't know if Zoe will. I kind of hope that Zoe will not fall to the same pattern. But so far, I think he's been employing very economical storytelling.
I think part of the a difference would be that there is no clear antagonist at this point, given that
We knew Doflamingo was...
Jack is down on the sea right now chasing after Doflamingo.
No, that was a week ago, Ed. He could totally be back by this point.
So he goes from 2 weeks ago wrecking the place, then a week ago chasing after Doflamingo, and now you think he's back already? I don't think.
You just said he left in a week. Why can't he come back in a week?
Perhaps with Doflamingo in tow.
The other question.
God damn! I hope not.
The other question is if this is another like Blackbeard in Drum Island sort of thing where like he's the bad guy and there might be something else going on in the island without having to confront him. I mean, that's a little far fetched since we already have so much stuff like setting up with Wano and Kaido and all that. But I mean, we don't know for sure yet.
Honestly, I was thinking about Blackbeard when I saw those big 3 slashes, but it's the Mink Island, so really it could come from any end.
It could come from anywhere.
Yeah.
Jammer or Ed first. Yeah, since you're talking anyway, might as well. What did you think of the chapter?
I love the new character sort of. Not that I don't like their. It's not that the quirks, but I like their attitude overall, especially the big guys, like BB and Roddy. They're a lot of fun so far. Just with their attitude, and the Minks so far have been like kind of mysterious. They seem concerned. They don't seem hostile, but I feel like they're hiding something that they're not talking about. Just sort of.
Well, have they had a chance to talk about it yet?
Well,
that's it.
I don't know. They got something else on their mind: the destruction of the country, and also very funny interactions with Beppo, being sort of like very very literal minded.
Jammer.
Yeah, I really liked a lot of it. Like, I think this was a pretty well done chapter. I love, like everyone else, all of the Minks and their designs and little quirks they have are a lot of fun. A lot of stuff happened, a lot of dialogue this chapter, which is great. Seeing Law's crew come back is awesome. I'm excited to see everyone kind of have like a whole reunion to see, I don't know, just how they react to maybe finding out. Well, they're probably not going to find out right now about Law, what he did, but I'm curious to see how they interact with each other once they get back together and what this means for them and the Straw Hats in the future. However, like Steven, I am also a bit gun shy for this arc. I think following Dressrosa, I really kind of want something that's a little less epic in scope, something that's a little less of the Straw Hats going into this huge sort of political instability thing that they somehow take center in. I'm kind of worried about that, and I'm hoping this is kind of just sort of a stepping stone to something different. But, from what I see, I really enjoyed it, but I'm just, like I said, a little gun shy from Dressrosa.
There's no, as I said, there's no immediately obvious, like, overarching villain for them to take on.
Right.
But,
if it's Jack, then I have a feeling that this is just going to go right into Kaido.
Yeah.
No skipping a beat. Like, boom, Kaido.
Yeah. Or it could be like with Punk Hazard and Dressrosa, where it's like Jack is Kaido's man, and then they take him down, and then it's further setting up the eventual conflict with Kaido later.
And if Jack was the one who put up the cross, then he was torturing people possibly to get information. We don't know what kind of information he may
We
have
don't
been
know.
after.
We don't know the context of that. That could be anything. That could just be something that had existed in that society for whatever reason.
Yeah. Well, we do remember in the suicide chapter that Sheep's Head and the lady were
That's
looking
true.
for a samurai.
And that they were also on the island, and that Jack was probably on the island concurrently. I think a lot of our analogies are kind of off. I think we kind of have to think of this most like we're in the middle of a Baroque Works arc. I was hoping it would be closer to a little garden, but it's looking like slightly bigger than that.
We could just throw the analogies out the window and take this as it comes.
We could take it as it comes, but the only part I want to analogize to Baroque Works is that the villains are going to be a little closer to how they tie into Baroque Works, I think. So Doflamingo and Jack, for example, I think are tied to Kaido, but doesn't mean one necessarily will come right before or after the other. But I think everything here will be important for what comes next, more so than a Skypiea. Which is big,
Well,
for the big picture, that's important. But yeah,
I mean, I can't imagine there being an arc with as little impact as Skypiea ever again.
Yeah.
In terms of like the immediate plot.
Yeah.
In terms of the media plot, yeah.
I was hoping
just think,
for. Go ahead.
I just think that we're at a point in the story, and I mean, the end's not necessarily in sight, but I mean, there's kind of a condition that Oda set up for us to expect something to happen every arc that we feel it. We just seem very far away from the Skypiea way of storytelling.
well, Miles, the way I think I'd put it is that the end's not in sight, but we're definitely heading there. Like, we're definitely on the journey to the end at this point, and you could start feeling that, I think, with like chapter 800, 801, when we were ending Dressrosa there. So I mean, that's interesting. As for the chapter itself, I agree with what everyone else said. Really cool stuff. I think I enjoy the designs of the Guardians, if we're going with that hierarchy, and if that ends up being the case, a little bit more than the.
Oh, and speaking of designs, I haven't gone back and read 795 today. It looks like the one mink that we see in that chapter, I think, is Carrot.
We've had an argument about this. I thought it was another character.
The snout isn't long enough to be Wanda.
I thought it was just another character.
See,
Can
it
there
looked
be
like
other
a-
characters?
At first glance to me, it looked like a lion, like a little lion.
I thought it looked like a deer. So obviously we all have completely different opinions.
I still think it's Wanda.
Okay, so every one of us thinks it's a completely different thing.
I think it was BB.
Should we take bets? Can we do this? Can we do this right now?
Do you want to take bets? Okay, what does the winner get? Dude?
Wait, how are we going to figure this out? You just
The winner
looked at
gets to host
chapter
the
and said-
podcast.
I don't know if Glover finds out.
The winner gets to host the podcast.
I don't think there's ever going to be an answer.
All right, we can
Yeah.
look. If you want to have the winner host the podcast for that little bet, no, I think we'll get an answer eventually.
Oh, I'm gonna. Oh, one second.
We'll go through that at the end. Maybe if there's something to go through that, dude. If you think of a good other type of prize other than hosting the podcast, we'll do that. Any other thoughts on this chapter,
I've got one.
Miles?
I'm really disappointed that Beppo is a mink.
Really?
Disappointed.
Because when Beppo was introduced a few years, or I guess a long time ago now, I was just so pleased that there was this talking polar bear with no explanation. Chopper had an explanation, but we get Beppo, and Beppo's not like, there's no human fruit or bear fruit. He's just a talking polar bear.
There's
And I
also the
love-
thing that we speculated on last week with some people think that Magellan is a mandrill, a mink.
Me. It's
That was
just
you.
me.
Some
I've
people
adopted
being
it
That's
myself now.
interesting.
Yeah, because he does look like an ape. He doesn't look human.
And did
No.
Mashura also say he was human? Like, I think we're speculating that they were minks as well, but didn't he say he was human?
Maybe he's a human, but he was raised on Earth.
Maybe. Or it'd be funny if Oda.
I meant a mink that was raised on Earth. Man, I fucked that one up.
But do you
Uh,
think that broadly know what minks are? I don't think that there's something that the average person on the Grand Line would, oh, that's a mink, yeah.
Well, no, because maybe they wouldn't recognize them, but they
They're
were
on the
on the
slave
listing
list,
slave
yeah.
house. Yeah.
That word doesn't
Oh.
sound
Yeah.
right, does it?
It doesn't necessarily mean that everybody knows about them, but
Right.
correct.
I mean, the more that you look back at like, oh, these particular characters had animal features, like the more you kind of see them here and there.
I think it was definitely in Oda's mind for a very long time. I think Oda probably was like, okay, there's going to be this country full of furries and animal people, and allowed him to kind of make crazier designs and then have an explanation he could throw in later. I think you're just disappointed that the mysterious aura of Beppo is gone a little bit.
Just a little.
He's still Beppo, and I'm a huge. It was really nice seeing all those guys come back, and
Yeah.
and our OTP could finally happen. I know we've been waiting for that. All right, let's get into the next segment. You guys ready?
Yes.
Today's episode of the One Piece podcast is sponsored by Right Stuff. Right Stuff sells everything anime and manga related, and they even expanded their selection to include additional figures. So you can find everything that you're looking for there at competitive pricing, again, at rightstuffanime.com. So if you haven't gone there before, they have a huge selection, and it's all about pre-ordering. So if you pre-order, you will get that title instantly as soon as it comes out, sometimes earlier if you're lucky. That is Right Stuff's specialty. You also get free shipping, over $49 in the US, over $249 in Canada. It comes with lots of care and padding and packaging. And if you buy if you buy more than 5 anime a year, I suggest that you try the Got Anime Savings Club and you get additional discounts. And if you got any questions, they are open and around for you. I've been using Right Stuff. Oh God, it's probably been since around 2006. And I really wouldn't recommend anyone else. They've been reliable. They get stuff out early even sometimes. I think I've been using them since I've been buying One Piece DVDs, and definitely even prior to that. And it's true, they really do put a lot of care into the packaging. And it's for anime fans, by anime fans. They do a lot of great anime work over there. So check it out. rightstuffanime.com. We'll have a little bit more in the a little bit later in the show, where we'll also be talking about some of the contest winners. So check that out and learn a little bit more about Right Stuff then. So why don't we get back into things?
This is the anime recap for episode 716, Stardust of Death, Diamante's Storm of Vicious Attacks. And as always, this episode is available in blazing HD on Crunchyroll.com.
So Ed, correct me if I'm wrong, but the episode starts with Jotaro Kujo in jail. No.
What?
Did that go right over your head?
Stardust, yes, of
Yes,
course.
okay.
I was thinking of Cody Rhodes. Oh, there's no answer. All right.
You're the only one left.
Damn it, Steve, why'd you have to be an Escondido?
Totally.
Anyway, so for only 4 minutes, 45 seconds recaps this week. Although, I don't know, I would have preferred less of what the first half of this episode was.
Okay, we're going to have very differing opinions.
Yeah,
this
I
episode.
completely
We are
disagree.
not
No,
gonna-
No, I'm saying, like, the first... Everything that leads into, like, the second half is great. Like, the way it was artistically done. I just don't like the plot. Anyway, so straight back into the flashback, and Senior Pink keeps coming to Russian's hospital and keep getting more and more ridiculous with his clothes, and she keeps smiling for him. Like, I don't know, that just makes me It just makes me angry. I'll get over it. So he only gives up his fancy clothes, but he's not going to give up being a pirate because that would just be too far for him to go. Anyway,
I'm sensing some commentary behind this recap.
a little bit. But yeah, he's getting laughed at by children on the street, and all the members of the Doflamingo family, and the parents are like, "Don't point and laugh at the crazy man," which I did appreciate that. That was funny. And he also goes to the Tienda del Bebé. Did anyone else notice this? The baby
I noticed
store.
it, and I was like, it's weird that they speak Japanese, but they have the freaking Spanish on the
But he
wall.
Maybe it was
said
in
they're pink.
Dressrosa.
Yeah. No, there aren't in Dressrosa, because as I said last week,
yeah.
he has abandoned his wife in some godforsaken hospital in the boondocks.
I assume she's dead at this point.
Don't assume things. We never see her die. No one's dead in One Piece.
Do you think she's going to come back in the final arc?
But she's in a flashback, so she's probably dead.
That's true.
Yeah.
But, anyway, So, but he wears the baby clothes because all that matters to him is her smile. And we get this great sort of musical montage of him getting punched by Frankie over and over again. They do this great blues scale thing with it matches the music really well with the scene, and the red eye Frankie sort of piercing through the blue sort of motif that they have going on. What did you guys think of this scene when his glasses broke and the rain ended?
I really liked it. Like, I thought this first half of the episode did some really solid music choices, and the entire first half in general was, I think, if it was out of context of the rest of the Dressrosa plot, I think I would have liked it a whole lot more. Just as a story and stuff. But at the same time, like, it does annoy me, just the whole, I guess that's not really the right term, but sort of the MacGuffin of Russian and stuff, and like the way she's utilized in the story in kind of a cheap way. But seeing those scenes independent of that use of her, I really like how they did it, and to me, it was more effective than the manga was.
Yeah, it definitely sort of overcame my general distaste for this whole storyline, because it was really well done, much like last week's episode was, and it's kind of hard to hate it. So I try not to think about the plot too much.
Miles?
Yeah.
What were your thoughts?
This is my favorite. This is my favorite thing ever. It's like the dumbest flashback possible. And I actually got emotional over it anyway, just because, well, that's what these flashbacks do to me every time. And Senor Pink's like the best character in the world. I would just watch him.
Do you know what? I really hope.
Days on.
I think what could rectify this, Ed, because I have similar-ish opinions as you, and I think what would really rectify this in the dub is if they do super, super over-the-top acting. Like, like what I would do.
Like telenovela acting?
Exactly.
Oh my god!
It would be perfect. It would be perfect. And yes, it'll be heart-wrenching too, but like, I think that would make it perfect, because that's kind of what this flashback is.
Like,
it's this ridiculous plot.
We need to over-signal that this is not to be taken seriously.
Yeah, we'll tell Mike and Joel and the whole crew, when they get to it in 2053, we'll let them know.
Ring, ring. This is Funimation, yes.
Really quick, also, something I wanted to point out. William, one of our writers of news over at OnePiecePodcast.com,
Where?
he actually did an interview, or translated an interview from Oda's current editor, Suguru Sugita, or at least current at the time. I'm not actually sure.
I think he's still current.
Is he still? Okay. There's a quote from that interview. The quote goes this. He says, "Due to page restrictions, composition difficulties, etc., there was a lot of unrevealed stories that Oda had finished up in his head, but that he wouldn't put out in the manga. Senor Pink's background story during the Dressrosa arc was originally also one such story. At first, Oda wasn't supposed to draw Senor Pink's past, but when I had asked Oda about Pink's character setting, I was completely moved by how good it was, and both of us would really get excited discussing it. We ended up not inserting that story in the chapter he was drawing at the time, saying that we'd leave the story as something between him and I. It later suddenly came in the next chapter, though. We also got a lot of response from readers, and in the end, I was glad it was put into the series after all."
Cool. Yeah, we touched on that last week, but I haven't heard the full quote since I read that.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. But so Frankie, he is definitively beaten Senor Pink at this point. The glasses break, and like the rain ends, and like the tears, his tears fall as he falls down.
Were his eyes like red? They were like a very piercing color.
But Frankie picks up the pacifier, and he wipes away Senor Pink's tears because he doesn't want to see a man like that cry, which is the Frankie part of the Senor Pink and Frankie relationship is great to me, because I love the manliness of it. But,
well, what's also great is that they are the two, well, definitely Frankie, the most immature
best
people.
Characters in One Piece.
Also true,
right.
but the most...
They're two perverts.
Frankie's great.
They're both hentai.
Yes.
So yeah, they'll meet up again for a drink one day, and he'll tell him the story. Frankie wants to hear it. Really, Frankie, you're better off not hearing it.
You want me to tell you a story?
Whoa. So at the end, there's a moment where Frankie is standing over Senor Pink, and the rays of light are shining down on him.
Yeah.
And that's a moment we did not get to that with that kind of drama in the manga. This is great.
Mm-hmm.
About the woman in Russia.
Yeah. It felt so much better to me than in the manga, which is not something I say very often.
Yeah, we said that last week as well. Last week was a beautiful looking episode.
Yeah, it was. But now it's time for the Tontados to destroy the factory, and we see a little smoke rise up from Frankie's shoulder. He's malfunctioning, and his red eye phases out, and he basically passes out from exhaustion from the fight. And we briefly see that a gorilla with a big knot on his head has been captured by the Marines. Keep an eye on that guy. Anyway, back up on the plateau, it's showtime, and funky rock music plays, and the flowers dance, and it's time for Diamante to fight. And I really love this. I love this whole scene with Diamante. He's so like the story of this episode is Diamante's facial expressions.
Also, could be a telenovela villain though. I didn't even think of that until just like. Also, trying to get their Aerosmith music, but not succeeding. It's like, there's a lot of that like rock guitar, which you do not normally hear in One Piece.
And Diamante, he is just obsessed with killing the entire family of Rebecca and Kyros, and he goes on to explain his powers. He can make everything. What's his? It's the fly. It's Ripple. He's basically making everything ripple. But he taunts
Never
Kyros
seen
like,
that anime before.
No, not at all. But he is the hero of the Colosseum now, Kyros. It is I, Diamante. Anyway, that takes us to the ad break, and we come back, and Diamante is being very evasive. He can ripple, he can make things ripple, and Kyros is having a hard time getting a shot in on him. And Kyros is actually finally starting to get tired because he's been battling on one leg for like the entire day at this point, and it's starting to get a little bit late for him. But Kyros, he won't be run down for his missing leg. He's proud of his missing leg. He would never make an excuse for losing a battle.
That's a great. Yeah. I remember when we read this chapter, we were complaining about Rebecca a lot, and then we're like, "Oh, this is Kyros' story, and this is where it really came out." Which is not. It's a good story for him.
I still feel that way though. It still bothers me.
This bothers me a lot less. It was actually going from one of my least favorite stories in this overall in this arc to I actually think the Rebecca and Kyros material is probably some of the strongest stuff in the whole the whole arc.
I don't know if I agree with that, but I feel like Oda, that he makes that whole speech, Kyros here, and I feel like that's just like Oda saying, "Audience, this is what you're supposed to think."
Message.
Yeah, and in the anime, because they stretch it out so much, they're able to sort of actually imbue it with a more natural intention. I guess it feels a little bit more natural that this is the way you're supposed to feel.
Well,
as
the funny thing,
them telling us.
The funny thing is, when we started the arc, Rebecca was being booed at in the audience, and the audience, the actual audience, Oda's audience, was like, "Ooh, I can't wait to see what Rebecca does." And by the end, everyone loves Rebecca in the story, and everyone who reads One Piece is like, "Oh, freaking Rebecca."
I still like Rebecca.
It also really. I'm not gonna go ahead. Never mind. Sorry, that would have gone into spoiler territory.
What's next?
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, this is anime only segment.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's time for fireworks, and he does his ripple like the mortars, like the firing the confetti. Yeah, but it's not confetti. It's spikes that have been given the ripple power, and they basically turn into these really light like confetti basically, and he shoots them up into the air, and I love that dark blue sky over the yellow sunflowers. That really was impressive to me.
Yeah, I was wondering how they were going to do the quote-unquote stardust. I think it was well done though.
I love Diamante's like iron umbrella that he puts out. He's just making ridiculous faces throughout this whole scene, and I'm just fascinated by his face.
It's like Gecko Moria faces.
It was so weird because like his body would be constantly modeled differently in every single movement. It was so weird to look at. It was almost like he was out of clay or something.
Well, he's Flag. He's Ripple Man.
Do you know?
Yeah. I think, it's true.
I was recently watching a Venture Brothers episode where they used like the robot chicken animation for one scene, and I could totally see that with Diamante, just that ridiculous with that animation. Go on.
Anyway, so Robin uses her powers to collect up some of the sunflowers and make an umbrella, but Kyros just uses his sword, and Diamante is comically upset by this. He's like, "This is a man who can stand in the rain and never get wet. Damn it."
I just love, for me, this brought flashbacks to the Meowbin Brothers, the way it was animated. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
totally.
sort of, no, you don't remember that?
No, I remember it. But I'm on a One Piece podcast, that's why I remember it.
Do you want to explain for the people who maybe haven't watched those episodes in a long time?
Really fast and cheap looking loops that they used to make him look really
Oh,
fast.
it's like DBZ punches.
Yeah, kind of like that, and they basically use that same type of look to it for not Diamante, for Kiros fighting off the spikes.
Mhm. I love that moment of it, but so at this point, Diamante just takes out his family murdering gun and he goes all Indiana Jones on him and his good life.
Family murdering gun.
Yeah, that's it's the special family murdering gun he used to kill Scarlet. In case you didn't remember that.
And then they show you the flashback in case you don't remember again.
Well, it's also like Diamante's character of like, hey, remember that time I killed your wife? It's his.
It's really all he talks about,
and it's great. It's like the best cheap heel you can get.
He's a name dropper.
Yeah,
but he drops the names of people he dropped.
And throughout all of this, the spikes are still coming down, and Robin's defenses won't last much longer. But and Rebecca's starting to get angry. She wants to join the fight as well, but Kiros stands straight up under the spiked iron balls, and both Rebecca and Diamante are shocked by this. And he's telling Rebecca to put down your sword and let your father fight for you for once. To respect your mother's wish that your hands would never get bloody. Your hands are clean, and that's how your mother's memory will live on. As we've seen, as Rebecca has shown throughout this whole time in the Colosseum, she's never she's never struck anybody. She's always managed to make them defeat themselves, and never gotten blood on her hands, even through being in the Colosseum. And it all goes back to the training that the soldier gave her. And it's like his wish that he's able to protect her, so that she doesn't have to fight anymore.
Yeah, I thought this was a very effective flashback, what they showed with her. Like going back from the very beginning, the great music selection, just the way he did was surprisingly effective for me.
Yeah, I love this. Is probably my second favorite part of the episode, because I really love the ending of the Mr. Pink Frankie, Senor Pink Frankie fight.
Mr. Pink, that's Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, Senor. But that's the end of the episode. What's that?
All this lack of respect for Senor Pink this episode, I can't handle it.
I have respect for the episode at the beginning.
Miles, what did you think of the episode?
Oh my gosh. So I don't keep up with the One Piece anime too often. I'll watch an episode every few weeks to make a social media post about it with Crunchyroll or something. But I've been watching the last few weeks because of the Senor Pink fight. Anyway, and then the second half of the episode, I just read this stuff about a month and a half ago. So it was really neat to see it animated. And I was so used to the last time I was keeping up with the anime on a week-to-week basis, which was Fishman Island, where the anime felt really drawn out.
Oh, it's been that way as recently as 5 weeks ago. So it's up and down, but these last two episodes have been really good.
It's just been fantastic. And Rebecca's facial expressions, you talked about Diamante's facial expressions, but Rebecca just had some really great character animation going on. And the Senor Pink part, like I said, I got emotional about that. I have enough emotion for all four of us here for that flashback.
I had it for the Corazon flashback, if that's that makes any difference.
No, I had it for this episode too. I vehemently disliked certain aspects of it in the manga, so I guess I was determined not to be affected. But even though I totally was, it worked for sure.
I was giggling in public reading the manga about this. So
yeah, I had kind of more of that feeling. I thought it was super over the top, but it's supposed to be, so I'm not my main qualm with this episode and the last one. They're produced very well, but I found the organization kind of baffling. I think, I don't know what's going to happen next week, but I feel like it would have been a little nicer to have the Senor Pink thing tied up in one neat package, one episode, and the stuff we're going to see, the Diamante and the Senor Pink stuff as separate episodes. I feel like you kind of were taken out of it when you stop one episode and you start the next, especially when it's week to week. But it was
that's a problem. That's a problem every week.
This episode felt a little disjointed at times, just on a production side. I think
I don't know. I think the production quality was high throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, no, the production quality was high. It was just some weird.
I definitely got a different feel between the first and second half, and not just in the content, but also it felt different, the animation wise to me.
It should have been a different episode. That's my main point about because they both look great. They're both well produced episodes, But they don't fit. All these pieces don't fit in together. They should. I know One Piece doesn't do it very often, but the Senor Pink thing could have kind of been a standalone episode that you could have showed someone and said, "This is One Piece." It's a guy in a diaper fighting a robotic speedo wearing guy. I don't know.
You're describing everything I would want to watch right now.
See? But now I have to show them half of one episode and half of another episode. It's very confusing. I guess you could just watch both of them. But yeah, no, it was good. It was good. I'm really just want to get to the climax here. I'm getting impatient.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we could probably go into the next segment. You guys ready?
Let's do it, man.
Hold on.
Oh,
I just want to point out one more thing about this
Please,
episode.
Miles, go
Go
for
for
it.
it.
So like I said, I'm not used to One Piece having like pretty reasonable animation, and they don't have the flexibility to do cool stuff as much. But at 10:02, it goes blue scale for the final punch. Frankie lands on Senor Pink. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah.
And it looked so good to me. And maybe I'm overstating it, but because I love this fight so much.
You like
but
what you
that
like?
just really, I do like what I like.
I mean,
sorry.
I was going
I-
to tell you different.
No, it's fine. I think the last episode was probably one of my favorite animated episodes in recent memory, like years and years and years. This one was really well done as well. So I guess they got their A+ production team in front of it. I hope it continues,
They like
but
Senor as much as me.
they do. They like Senor Pink and they like boobs. Those are the two things that the production team likes. And I'm sure we'll see more, well, definitely more boobs. And hopefully some good production quality in the future, but probably will drop off at some point. Anyway, are you guys actually ready now to go into the next segment?
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Sus.
This is the Piece Together segment where we take your questions, comments, and theories and then figure out what kind of furry they would be. First question from emails comes from Adam, also known as Super Dude, who says, with the introduction of Minks and thinking about how past characters could be Minks, it got me thinking about Oda reintroducing past characters. I was thinking that Moria could come back with Zombie Ace, which is a joke we made, I think, when we first started the show. What do you guys think? Is there any character who would benefit from coming back in a new light?
Wow,
What
that's
does
a pretty,
that have?
that's a
does
pretty
that
good
No,
question.
He's saying, like, what past characters do you see coming back? Which is everyone, personally. I know.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good. That's a pretty good question from a school hamster.
Super Dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right. You're right. I forgot that reference. Any thoughts on that? Anyone?
I've-
I'm still
like-
thinking. Like,
Um,
are these characters that have never come back before?
Is there stipulation on this? Because I mean, like, we're gonna see all the characters come back probably.
I think it's in this arc for this incident.
Well, let's leave it at that, because otherwise it's a very open-ended question.
Okay, well, I thought about this. What if there is other people on the island that aren't the Straw Hats that the Minks think are members of the Straw Hat Pirates and because they say that they're friends of Luffy?
It's an interesting idea.
You know?
So Return of the Fake Straw Hats?
No.
I'm kidding.
But like, I don't
What
know.
if that's the Sanji who died?
Oh my god.
Ooh, that would be funny.
I think I might rage quit on the series if this happened.
Maybe it's the
Jebber,
Rosy
you've
Life
threatened that
Fighters.
several times. Okay, next question comes from Scott, unless anyone has any other thoughts on that.
I mean, my mind is thinking maybe the Saruyama Alliance, but that's it.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
I would
I mean,
like to
it-
see them.
They did set out to sea, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
If Oda was going to reveal any characters as being actual Minks, I mean, he's doing the new cover arc series, so he could just like slip that in there, like in the subtitle or something, like here's the Mink Saruyama Alliance or whatever. I don't know.
That would be a little cheaper, I feel.
It would, yeah.
Yeah.
But it would feel a little contrived if they were just, hey, we're here too.
Next question comes from Thrift007. Do you think that the Mink will think that Chopper is one of them, Or will they be able to tell right away that he's just a reindeer that happened to eat a human fruit? If they can't tell, do you think that part of the plot of this arc will be about the repercussions of them finding out he isn't a mink and thinking that he is an abomination or something?
I think we might be past the whole Chopper is a monster thing, but there's definitely going to be some moment of distinction. It seems that Oda's really packing it in as far as pacing goes. So to do something like that would be tantamount to doing something like, having Sanji's nosebleed be a huge plot point.
Or Usopp running away.
Right.
I don't know. I would like to see some kind of conflict with Chopper just so that he can start bowling people over with his football helmet on. Just because I want to see that.
Yeah.
Because he had that football helmet on. Remember?
Yeah.
Thank you,
I
Steven.
mean, it'll probably just be a single frame or a single panel that says, "Oh, by the way, where do you fall in the hierarchy?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm not." It'll be that simple. That's what I was
You'd
thinking.
probably be like revered for being a pure animal that ate a human fruit or something like that.
Or
like he was more of an animal to begin with.
Or maybe even worse,
Well, that's
maybe because he betrayed his roots by going human slightly.
Yeah, maybe.
Never go full human.
Kind of an Uncle Tony.
Next question.
Oh my god. That is not going to be the episode title.
No.
Next question comes from Sparky. I've been listening to the One Piece podcast for about a year or so, but because I started at episode 1, I just caught up a few episodes ago.
Dear God, why? You could have skipped that whole first year.
You definitely could have skipped at least 100 of those episodes. But thank you for doing that anyway. She continues, I just want to say thank you for talking about One Piece every week and making me smile. The only other person I could talk about One Piece with is my brother, but he's following the dub, so there isn't much conversation or theories to be had there. Anyway, questions. I don't know if this is a good question. I guess
there's no really bad questions.
It's just bad people.
Just bad people, right? Do you think it's possible that Zoe is not completely animal anymore? Cue spooky music if anyone
She's
wants
more
to.
machine now than man, twisted and evil.
What I mean is, and this is actually perfect for what you just did, what I mean is maybe like Laboon, Zoe is full of pipes and or electrical gizmos and stuff.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my god.
The only reason I have to believe this is that the Minks knew the Straw Hats were climbing up Zoe's leg and sent someone to stop them. However, stop them or jump off the end. However,
It would also be a way to tie Zoe into the Roger Pirates. If Crocus had installed stuff when he visited with, when he was on that ship.
Anyway, however, Zoe looks mostly deserted and his legs are in a thick fog, so how could the Minks have known that they were coming? I'm not sure how good this question is, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Yeah. What do you guys think?
First of all, don't undermine yourself on the questions. We've seen worse, much worse.
That was a good question.
Yeah.
That was a legitimately good one. Yeah.
Is there like an old retiree with a house inside of Zoe somewhere?
another former member of Roger's crew, perhaps. What if it's a mink that has superior hearing?
It could, yeah.
There's lots of ways to explain how they would
gotcha.
see him coming, I guess.
Well, isn't the whole thing, didn't he just fall off like the side and he just happened to notice that they were there? Like maybe he just fell off for some other reason.
Maybe.
Unless I'm forgetting something or mixing something up. No, I think that's a perfectly cool theory. I think I think it's a little more unlikely, but I like the idea. It's a cool idea. We've seen it once before, so it's possible. Next question comes from Joe. Hey guys, I just want to share an observation I've made. In the past, Law's expressed frustration toward Luffy for his habit of running off, but on Zoe, he's now casually walking alongside with the other Straw Hats, completely unfazed by Luffy running off ahead. He's also become a lot more vocal in the past 9 chapters, not having had a single speech bubble where he doesn't say actually anything, where it just says, the ellipses, ... The only exception was during his meeting with Sengoku, who is someone he's probably never spoken to before that moment. And finally, Law seemed a little surprised in this chapter when Robin brought up his crew, and he had forgotten about the Vivre card. Besides assuming he never see them again, it really makes me wonder what he intended would happen. Was he expecting or hoping the Straw Hats to take care of his crew after his death, or at least make sure they knew what happened to him since he didn't die? I'm really looking forward to see what happens next, if he'll tell them what happened or keep them in the dark. But if we know Luffy, he probably won't let Law get away with lying.
That's really sweet, actually. That notion that Law would, leave his crew in Luffy's hands.
Yeah.
I think probably he wouldn't tell them because they would stop him, or he wouldn't want to have that conversation with them. But he probably just figured, well, whatever, they'll see the papers, they'll know what to do afterwards or something like that.
Yeah.
Because hey, he's a supernova. He's worst generation. Like, his crew has to be of a similar level to him, in terms of like being able to take care of themselves.
Right.
I remember when the pirate alliance between the two of them started. I was really, really, really excited for just the two of their crews to pal around, because Law seems like he has such a fun crew. And now that that's finally here, I'm pretty pumped.
There's some weird juxtaposition between Law and his crew. I mean, I like Law, not the most fun guy. I'm just gonna no.
He's kind of like, it seems like he's kind of been in a daze ever since he didn't expect to live this long.
Well, let me also put it this way: he can't be fun because he doesn't like bread or pizza.
Oh, come on!
I'm never gonna let that go.
Enough with the bread. We get it. You like bread.
Yeah, I do like that kind of personal transition, because if you think about it, like he thought he was on a suicide mission. Like, this was his entire life's meaning to get back at Doflamingo, and now he's done it, and so now he's going to be like, okay, what do I do now? And
Doflamingo may be coming back with Jack. Anyway,
one could say that
I'm taking you back to Dressrosa.
One could say that Law is Batman without the Joker.
Ben Wild.
Next question.
Thank you guys so much.
Ben Wild's question: if you guys owned a bar, what jobs would you give the Straw Hats? Keep up this great work. And before I let you guys answer, I'm just going to say Bluno has to be there, bartending.
So you could say what, Zach?
That was it. That was what I was going to say.
Well, Luffy doesn't even get to come in because he'd break everything.
Yeah.
We've seen what he does. You've seen what he does.
No, just because of that fact, I would make Luffy the busboy, because that's literally the lowest. That's the like.
Well, he was a busboy before.
No, that's what I mean. Like, that's if he fucks up, that's the lowest like chain of command.
We don't have to hire him at all.
Yes, we do. We have to give jobs to all the Straw Hats. This is the question.
Nami is the waitress who just jiggles her tits.
Oh my god!
Gets tips,
it's true.
Tips.
Yeah.
Just to get tips. Yeah, Sanji's obviously the head chef. I could see
Zoro's host.
Frankie would be the maitre d', I think.
Zoro would be a terrible host. There's your table over there. That's not even a table. You're pointing me out the door.
He takes them to the wrong table every time.
That'd be good. No, that'd be good.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, Robin would have to be the manager or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Brooke would be the front desk guy.
Chopper and
Hostess
Usopp
or
would be
host?
washing dishes, I think.
What would Sanji do at a restaurant? Anyway.
What would Jinbei do?
I wonder what Dadan would do.
I wonder what Whoops Lab would do.
Jinbei would be the guy who just sits at the bar and drinks to add atmosphere.
Norm.
He'd be the old guy who's just always at the bar.
Norm.
Yeah.
He'd be Norm.
Exactly.
Yeah. That fits a little oddly perfectly.
It's the crew norm.
So now we have the Cheers One Piece crossover we've all been waiting for.
Oh my god.
Well, anyone under the age of like 20 has never seen an episode of Cheers.
Sam, now hold on. Now let's do all the Cheers cast as One Piece characters. Well, Sam would clearly be Sanji. I guess Diane would be Nami. Carla would be Zoro.
What about Kelsey Grammer?
Frasier, you mean?
Yeah.
Frasier.
The Frasier man.
Probably Brooke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Frasier man, as he loved to be called.
Straw Hats really need a Frasier.
Yeah.
I think
Woody would be
Usopp.
Usopp.
Usopp would be Cliff.
Oh yeah, that's true. And Frankie would be Norm if they were doing Straw Hats.
I thought the Frasier podcast would have, done enough of this.
There is a
I'm
Frasier
listening.
podcast.
I know
Yeah.
there is.
Still?
Chopper is Eddie,
Salad with
right?
scrambled eggs.
Yeah, Jonah Ray's podcast. He does
Yeah.
that. Next,
Somebody's got to be Coach.
Well, hey, we
Somebody-
don't have Vivi in any of these. This is
Ace
really
is coach because he's
disappointing.
dead.
And then
Wow.
I guess Robin would come in as Rebecca.
spoilers, Ed. Admiral Sato has a question. Hey, OPP. This is a quick question as I read into the new chapter today. Looking at the new cover story and in the background, do we have any information about the Kraken's brother/twin? I know he or she was mentioned by Hody Jones when he threatened the Kraken that he would go after him or her if the Kraken disobeyed his orders. I do remember that.
Yeah, but Krakens aren't supposed to be happy. Like I would imagine that's the one that we all know and
Yeah, I
love.
think
because
that's
he has a good
Surame.
attitude.
Yeah, I love Surame.
Yeah.
He's great.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I think I'm right.
I think we might see maybe the sibling. Was it a sibling or mother? I forgot the relation.
Sibling. Brother, I think.
What if the brother's
Like the South Pole, I think.
Yeah, what if it's way bigger and it joins in on the final war?
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That's gotta happen.
Yeah, 2 Krakens, yeah.
There's already going to be Sea Kings involved anyway, so.
No, what if Blackbeard's already gotten to the other Kraken, so it's Kraken versus Kraken?
Oh my god.
Brother versus brother.
Brother!
It's like Kramer versus Kramer.
No, you're thinking of
Giddy up.
how many 90s sitcoms can we reference today? Connor says, if he hasn't already, can Stephen explain all the translation choices in regards to the new name speech quirks this chapter? You did, I
Yeah,
think.
I would love to go over all of them all over again.
I feel like you're a big
a bit of
fan.
venom in your voice.
I think we covered it. I think I covered it in the manga recap.
Okay, so why don't we go to Reddit?
Okay. We have a bunch of Reddit, and we're going to start off with Kawaii Slayer, who has a conspiracy theory. Ancient aliens, get your tinfoil hat on.
I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens.
Aliens.
In chapter 795, we were introduced to Kaido, a man who cannot be killed and has made suicide his hobby. Earlier in the series, we see that Pell managed to survive an explosion that was supposed to destroy Alubarna, an event that foreshadows the fact that Pell is actually Kaido. If Kaido's hobby is suicide, he'd be up for a giant explosion to blow up everything. Crocodile's entire plot in Alabasta, it was just an elaborate plan by Pell, Kaido, so he could try blowing himself up. That's right, Alabasta was an inside job. He also didn't eat the Captain Falcon fruit. He dual wields the Zuzu fruit and Double fruit. Is that a burger? The former gives Pell the ability to transform into any animal, and its awakened powers let him change every aspect of his appearance. This is why Kaido can look like Broly with Bobo's nose hair, while Pell looks like that kid in 8th grade who liked to wear black makeup. Lets him be Pell and Kaido at the same time, so nobody gets suspicious. So what do you think? Is Pell actually Kaido? Also, does Pell being Kaido means Jinbei is going to join the crew during Zo?
I don't know about that, but I can say one thing for sure. Jar Jar is a Sith Lord.
Kawaii Slayer wins the piece together this week. No.
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 No. I
right.
think that's what happened to Tower 7. Oh my god. This
wow.
ridiculous.
Okay.
No,
Let's move on.
that's a Harmontown reference. I'm making a Harmontown reference.
Spatial Piano asks, now that half the crew is apparently dead, how many of you still believe introducing Oda to Game of Thrones was a good idea?
Yes. Still.
Yeah, why not? It's
Sure.
fine.
We have no confirmation one way or the other that he has actually put anything from Game of Thrones into it. We have some theories, but
Some very strong theories.
I mean, Kaido looks a lot like Khal Drogo.
yeah, that's kind of true. Although I think I don't know.
He might have had. I mean, I think he's had that design in the pocket for a while too.
Yeah.
So
Stents the Boss says, last week someone said that a combination of Luffy and Zoro would be law. I'd like to contend that the combo would actually be an alcoholic Bonnie, because it would take Zoro's love of alcohol and Luffy's gluttony, and also because Bonnie is the correct answer to every fan theory.
Our Reddit users are just winning this week.
Yeah, these are fantastic questions.
So I just want I mean, I know there are legitimate answers to this one, but the last one for the Game of Thrones one, we saw Kaido back, remember, in Punk Hazard, and that was prior to Oda watching Game of Thrones, so I think it's unlikely. Right in the color spread when we saw Kaido.
Yeah, good point.
698 or 6 or something.
Yeah.
But as to this question, yes, Bonnie, totally.
Mm-hmm. And they can change their age at will. All right. Court 2812 asks, where is the promised Zoe's length prediction? I boldly guess 16 chapters. That would be chapter 820. And do you think Wanda thought of Straw Hat's crew as being dead because of Brooke?
The Zoe's length prediction we will do at the end of the right after this segment, so keep listening. Plus, we have the contest winners for the Shonen Jump Scanlation article contest, and we'll talk a little bit more about what we're doing next week and a lot more. That's in the next segment. Keep listening. Anyway, do you think Wanda thought of Straw Hat's crew as being dead is because of Brooke? That's a legitimately good question.
That's a good guess.
Yeah,
Not sure.
Funny.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't. It's not like they were wearing anything really weird,
and it wasn't explicitly just like said that she thinks they're dead.
She said
The
the
bodies.
bodies. Yeah.
Oh, she did. Damn.
Well,
But
that doesn't. They could be live bodies.
Right.
No one
I
says
suppose.
bodies when it's live.
Are you
though.
like
Well,
a reverse
these
Robin?
people talk weird enough already.
That's
All right.
true.
I'm not ready to believe anything that they say.
That's fair.
Next question is from Straw Hat Cyclists, who says, we've been noticing a lot of parallels between Alabasta and Dressrosa, as well as Skypia and Zoe. Do you think we'll have an arc similar to Water 7 and Annius Lobby that's meant to break down and strengthen the crew as a whole? Most crew members have demonstrated their individual progress since the time skip, so I think it's time to see how they can handle some internal struggle on an even larger scale, especially after hearing Doflamingo mention the possibility of new alliances and betrayals just a couple chapters after the Straw Hats gained 5,600 new members. Also, Baron Tamago for president. He'd run for the Tea Party. It'd be great to have a president who ends all of his sentences in French.
Bonsoir.
It's interesting. Well, if Jack comes back with Doflamingo, he'll undoubtedly do the thing that I was waiting for Doflamingo to do the entirety of Dressrosa, and that's use his mind control powers or his puppet powers
body control, parasite.
on the Straw Hats to pit them up against each other.
Yeah.
Like,
it seems
I
like a
thought that was
failing. That he
yeah.
didn't do that.
Like, that was like a huge missed opportunity, but I feel like if Jack does bring Doflamingo back, and I think he might for a particular reason, because I mean, we still didn't see Doflamingo's eyes even after all that, which is really weird and interesting.
Yeah.
Like we were gonna see Doflamingo again.
I'm gonna be honest. If we see Doflamingo again anytime soon, I'm gonna be angry. I'm just like so done with that. Personally.
See,
If
this is
there's
the advantage of going through all of it at once, because
there's
I'm ready for more Doflo already.
Doflamingo's the new Frieza.
If there's a good reason for it, I think it's okay that he comes back.
No, Caesar's the new Frieza. Come on, they have the same voice. It's not even a question.
Caesar's not really a villain anymore. He's just there.
He's the butt of a joke.
Yeah, he's like the new Buggy.
He also smells like a butt.
Oh, it's true because he's gas.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. What's next?
Next is from Kuranevis, who says, hello, OPP. Some remarks about last week's theory on the island of rare animals. This was my theory. The idea that the island was elephant poop. You questioned how the elephant could get over the red line. The elephant is over 1,000 years old. Did the red line even exist back then? It goes together with other theories that reshaped the world after the fall of the ancient kingdom.
I like this guy. I think he's right.
Yeah.
That's
This guy knows how to suck up.
Actually, I have to say all of these questions.
I was about to say, well, erosion doesn't work that fast, but whatever happened during the blank century, yeah, it could have been the catalyst for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Actually, that Gaimon theory is probably my best, my favorite crackpot theory right now.
This arc could lead to a full explanation as to what happened.
Yeah,
at least not the whole Void Century, but at least in the geologic. Yeah.
That's really the exciting thing, I think, is knowing that we are kind of heading towards the conclusion is that any arc could have like massive, story fundamental reveals about the nature of the world and stuff. That's
well, think about it this way. We were saying, maybe this arc won't have as immediate consequences, but maybe it will have really, really long-term consequences, but in a way that are far more satisfying than Skypiea. Because Skypiea, we were kind of setting up big picture stuff, but toward the beginning. So it was just like these little things planted in. But maybe we'll get some actual like answers in this. That would be cool. I'm probably expecting too much.
Yeah. Probably not, actually. It'll get there eventually.
Thank you, Jammer, for the approval.
Next question is from Piece Together Reddit. Oh boy, it's gaining sentience. Question 1: If you tie your ship to a moving elephant, doesn't that damage the ship?
No.
I guess I don't. It
depends what's going on.
Yeah. I mean,
how does
the Sunny is
elephant
pretty.
stay afloat?
That's what we've been wondering too. Really long legs.
Seaman has really long legs.
I would love it if it actually had stilts.
Well, and we saw with the Sunny, and actually going back and looking at 795 again, you can see that the Sunny is, I think, moored to the other foot of the other rear leg. It would appear so.
It also makes me wonder, like, if the elephant starts walking into shallower water, does he just get super, super tall with really, really long legs because they come out of the water?
The Sunny gets dragged upward.
Yeah. Well, Sunny's a tough ship.
Yeah.
His other question is, Kinemon and Kanjuro both have abilities that would better fit a theater troupe. So what kind of abilities or crazy quirks could we expect from Raizo? It seems their devil fruits are perfect for entertaining small children, such as Momonosuke.
Balloon animals. Wait, no, that's kind of Kanjuro, isn't it?
Well, Kanjuro is the secretary of balloon doggies.
I didn't ask for it. The balloon donkeys asked for it.
They demanded.
He didn't. Shut up.
I don't even know what you're referencing.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
A critic.
Any other answers? I like that about Kinemon and Kanjuro.
Yeah, actually, it seems like it'd be like the traveling troupe idea. Makes me think that, I don't know, maybe, I always kind of figure like maybe Momonosuke isn't actually Kinemon's son. He's actually like the prince of like the shogun or something, right?
Yeah, we've talked about that.
That's definitely been a theory out
there.
They're
the caretakers basically, and Raizo would be like the actual bodyguard.
What if Kaido's the shogun?
Possible. It's possible.
Yeah. Who knows?
He kind of has like he's sort of dressed that
He's
way,
dressed
right?
like a Yokozuna.
Yeah.
I mean, they're clearly hiding stuff. Kinemon and Kanjuro. I mean, actively. They're like, oh, we'll tell you later.
Yeah, we still don't know why they left Wano in the first place.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's the big mystery.
There's a lot of mysteries. And we've been with these characters for years, especially Kinemon.
That's the crazy part.
Yeah. And we still don't really know that much about them. And none of us really think they're going to join the crew proper, which is kind of crazy.
You've been saying about heel turn last week. I think the Wano crew is a prime candidate for actually turning on the Straw Hats.
I don't think it will happen, but if it did happen, I wouldn't be that shocked. You're right.
Using them until they don't need them anymore.
But I don't see
that would kind of suck. But then Momonosuke would have to be on their side, I feel like.
Yeah.
The Straw Hat side. Maybe.
I think he'd be more on the booby side.
Yeah, exactly.
Team boobies. Go ahead.
All right. Next statement is from Meme No Me. Howdy OPP. My theories are that since we know Kaido has at least one trusted crew member named Scotch, his crew are all named after booze and have weird metal accessories on their face and a weapon arm. Jack Daniels, maybe even the return of Captain Morgan.
Oh, shit, son.
No, he sucks.
No.
That is a sound theory.
I like it.
It is a sound theory.
I mean, you look at Toriyama, and Toriyama, that's his naming convention these days. He went from having things like teas as his naming, and now he has booze. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody in Dragon
Beerus.
Ball universe is named
Yeah.
after food. Like Toriyama must have been really hungry every time he was at his desk.
it
Well,
fits
now
the
all
Shonen
Resurrec-
character.
all
Sorry,
the
go ahead.
Resurrection and that stuff have the like whiskey names. So maybe Oda's doing the same thing.
Mm.
Be
Oh my
interesting.
god, maybe the Eddie Cool brothers are part of Kaido's crew.
No, there's another Scotch that was.
Yeah,
on,
no, I know. I'm aware.
He's got to catch them all.
By the way, what's the deal with
Um,
the Eddie Cool brothers anyway? Like,
No, we're not going through that now. This is a
The most
long
important
question.
characters?
Yeah, let's continue. Also, in Elbaf, we have to have some kind of tribute to the 1990 tag team of Andre the Giant and Giant Baba. They're gonna slam the ground so hard Jinbei will come back.
Nice.
I like that. And also, as has been said many times, the dead crew member is just Brooke, and his mom is Jewelry Bonnie.
I see what's
and-
happening here.
Reddit's got jokes.
Mhm.
Reddit is
Yeah.
trying to do this to us right now.
Yeah, and there's a big long paragraph here. I don't want to seem too self-serving, but it's just a big, huge love letter, and thank you to us for helping this person get into One Piece from stumbling onto OPP Japan at Anime Boston a couple years ago. And
nice.
there's a lot of stuff. Again, I don't want to turn this into a love fest, but it's really nice comments. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mimi no me. That makes sense. Right?
Meme.
No,
It's meme.
Meme. Oh, it's a meme no me.
Yeah.
Sounds like the most annoying devil fruit.
It's almost like
Yeah.
Momoko Koko Moko.
Okay. At least I'm not the only one who had an issue.
Moko Moko Koku.
Yeah, there. Moko Moko Koku.
Mm.
Moko Moko Koku.
Yeah. Black Northwind says, new cover story, Yasop's reaction to Usopp's bounty, please.
Yeah, I'm crossing my fingers for that.
That would be great.
I've always wondered like if he noticed Sogeking. Probably not, but God Usopp, that's his name right there. Obviously, we'll see Kaya and the Veggie Pirates reaction, but
I
yeah.
don't know. If
Kuro's
that's not-
reaction.
That would be good.
Son of a bitch! He's a god now. What the fuck?
I actually would love to see that now.
That would be pretty good.
I doubt it, but
That's the only circumstance in which I approve of Kuro coming back.
I knew I liked you, Steven.
Yeah. Hydro Kalido says, hey there, OPP. You guys finally convinced me to subscribe to Weekly Shonen Jump after reading the Scanlations article and listening to you guys discuss the topic. Reading some bad Scanlations every week made me want a better experience with the manga. Thanks, OPP, and keep up the great work.
Thank you. Awesome.
Yeah. It's why we do it, is try to support the series.
Yeah, because the more it's supporting, the bigger and better. More it's supported, the bigger and better it could get here and around the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Zalumi says, hope you guys had a fun Halloween. What kind of costumes did you wear, and what or who would each of these straw hats go as for Halloween?
We've seen a lot of color spreads. We kind of have. Well, I guess they didn't dress in costumes. did they?
Yeah. Well, they kind of did. There was like the one where, was it like Frankie was like the old like sort of Chinese horror jumping zombie thing and stuff.
What if Brooke put flesh and blood on his bone and walked around as a human, like a normal live human?
It just looked like Slash.
I do not know what that is.
That's what
From the
Brooke looked
guitar,
like.
Yeah, from Guns N' Roses.
Were you gonna say from Guitar Hero?
No. Yes, from Guitar
I was
Hero.
gonna say Jesus. No. Did anybody besides me go to a Halloween party this weekend?
I did.
I did. Yeah.
Oh, good. Y'all did.
I didn't have a costume though. I put on a princess hat.
What?
I didn't have a costume. But they had
What?
they had one of those elephant things that you could put your hands in on the side. I don't know what the hell you call it. I see them at conventions all the time.
Like Hulk hands?
What?
No, they're like these furry looking things. But it was sitting there, so it was given to me. I didn't really have a choice.
Wow, what a great,
was an
what a
unwilling
great Halloween party.
Wait, that's the rave gear stuff, right?
It's
Yeah, I think that's what
possible.
he's talking about. Yeah.
I don't
You just
know.
like found rave gear at a Halloween party, and you're like, yeah, I'll just put on this rave gear.
It's elephant related. I mean, it has to do with what we're talking about.
It's topical.
No, I'd never have the energy to put more. I should probably have a real costume at some point in my life.
See, just do what I do. I go to Goodwill the day of and I figure something out. This year I went as Jay Sherman from Coming Attractions.
I saw that.
Hachi!
It was great. Miles,
Buy my book.
I actually did have a auto-bio prop, and I did that.
I was the Ghost of Manglobe, which is a fairly distasteful.
Wow.
I had a sheet over my head, and I had a bunch of Monglobes, like best anime, stapled to that sheet. So
that's really
Nice.
clever.
So that's a real niche costume.
like even at the Crunchyroll offices, maybe like 10% of people knew what I was. So
Wow.
you know,
I
really nailing it.
I very, very nearly went as a member of Ben Control.
I don't know what that is.
No, Ben, no. Okay, so in Homer Batman,
Oh, yes.
You're gonna have to
The
explain. I
Gentle
don't.
Ben-
Oh,
the
Gentle
talk
Ben.
show.
yeah,
Oh,
the guy
yeah.
with the microphone on his head, and he goes over to eat craft services. The one guy's like, "No, Ben, no," and then he swipes at him, and several people in a uniform that says Ben Control trank him.
And even we didn't get that one. That's
That's a really obscure
it's
one.
a tough sell.
Yeah.
It's fucking.
I
hilarious.
should go as a really super obscure One Piece character. Is what I should do.
There you go.
Send in those suggestions next year.
Minatomo-san.
I would do that. That's not a ridiculous outfit.
All right. Next question from Simon. What Straw Hat or character in general would make the best baseball player, and what position would they play? By the way, condolences on the Mets.
Oh God. We
Well,
should have
it-
skipped this question.
Zoro has the accuracy, but he would run the bases the wrong direction. So someone else try.
I like that.
I'm too broken up to even like.
Well, Luffy would make a great. He'd be a great outfielder.
Yeah, that's right. You could
There's
basically
actually-
cheat without cheating.
Yeah.
There's actually a
that
Game
one's
Boy
good.
Advance game.
Yeah.
That you guys can check out on the
What do
emulation.
they call that? Like going baseball or something like
Going
that?
baseball, yeah.
Well, Jinbei could be any
Super fun.
1920s baseball player because he has the same shape.
He's Mordecai Three Finger Brown.
Jinbei is the umpire.
Yeah, that's actually more likely.
Hmm,
I think Usopp would be the catcher.
why?
I don't
No.
know. He looks like he would like to throw on the gear.
He's a pitcher, man.
Oh my God. Okay.
Not
Not
no,
again.
no,
2
I
weeks
mean,
in a
like-
row.
Because he's a sniper. I wasn't
Oh.
making. I wasn't making.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that's
wasn't
good.
making an anal sex joke. I was
It happens every so often.
serious.
What's the next question?
Next is from Black Northwind. Crazy theory. Wanda thinks that the curly hat pirates are dead because she saw body dummies that looked like them but were made by Raizo to deceive them. This idea came to me from FMA Brotherhood, where Roy fake killed Maria Ross.
That's
Anyone?
good.
Yeah.
I like that.
So that's his
the-
party trick, is that he makes dead-looking bodies?
No, but it's a ninja trick. It's like the replacement. Like you're replacing
Right.
yourself with a lug.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
That's
pretty
That's
good
a,
idea.
that's a good
he
theory.
just keeps a stash of dead bodies around just in case.
Man, Reddit, you're full of good theories tonight.
And jokes.
Gear Second says, "Hey OPP, I have a request for a one-time segment on this show, perhaps when the manga is on break.
Ooh,
What I want you guys
yeah.
to
Sorry.
talk about is how the One Piece world is actually constructed, like how the grind line works, where the reverse mountain connects with the red line, how the calm belt, new world, and all four seas play into this. To this day, these things have been confusing to me, and I'm pretty sure lots of other fans think the same. Maybe instead of a segment, this could work better as an article. Anyway, that was my request. Hope you take it into consideration. Keep up the great work."
Oh boy, give Zach an inch. Like
I think it would make a better article, personally.
Give Zach an
Yeah.
inch and he'll force Jammer to do all the work.
So, Jammer, get on that. No. We could recommend it to the writing staff, Jammer. That's not a terrible idea. It is somewhat confusing. For those who might remember 6 something years ago on the podcast, we had a segment called the Encyclopedia segment. Ed, do you even remember this?
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I-
like that segment. What happened to that?
Well, it's difficult, and also our podcasts tend to run 3 hours long, so it fell by the wayside. But maybe one day when things are less exciting, we'll bring it back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
Next question from Black Northwind. Again, I'm sensing a pattern here from your episode of the Full Metal Alchemist podcast. Again, real old
Whoa.
callback there. Would you like to see John Havoc as one of the Revolutionary Army leaders? I don't even remember which one was Havoc.
Havoc was the one who got paralyzed.
and he's always smoking, right?
Spoiler alert. First, I want to say, if people have their old episodes of the Full Metal podcast, please send those over to me. It was several computers ago, and it would take a lot of rebooting and computer repair to get some of those.
Yeah, so we've lost, I think, the first 4 episodes?
Send any and all of them that you have. You could send them in a zip to Gmail or something, or if you have them, email me, and we'll figure out a way for me to get them. If you have all of them, then you should be contacting me, and we'll put them on SoundCloud. So I don't, Stephen, go ahead.
Okay. Next is DNubs Pro. That is Dan Moat again. So as
Dan.
I'm sure others will point out, looks like we have the makings of a zodiac theme between a sheep's head, a dog, a rabbit, etc. So the question is, will we see BoJack Horseman
Please.
on a sleigh?
Please. Want to see Will Arnett
Yeah.
just come out with a cigarette and just like, what?
Okay,
Does that mean Wanda, like her last name? She's actually Peanut Butter Wanda.
Yeah, so I have a crackpot theory on Jack that I thought about like as we were doing the manga recap. This is incredibly crackpot, so take it with a half a grain of salt. So Jack sounds like Jackie, and Jackie sounds like yakitori. That's chicken. Jack is the chicken fruit. He's a chicken mink. I don't know.
Jinbei joins the crew.
Bonnie is Jack's mother.
Mm.
No, but that'd be pretty cool.
It's completely unfounded. I Goldblum the shit out of that.
I'm trying to be more positive here.
This is because you're the same person.
He continues, on a slightly more serious note, do you think the dragon character in question will be Kaido or an unintroduced dragon-themed character? Well, I think we're pretty much in agreement that Kaido's a dragon.
Yeah,
At this point,
I like
it's a
that.
very strong theory.
Yes.
Could you talk about that?
A
Kaido
while
Kaido
back.
being a dragon?
Yeah, we
Kaido
could
being
go
a
over
dragon.
it's been a little while since we've actually discussed why. I don't know, Stephen, do you remember all the details?
Yeah, so let's see. There's a lot of stuff. There's the fact that Kaido he's kind of tied into Wano. We know that from way back in Punk Hazard and Kinemon's introduction that he has some score to settle with dragons. And there's also the issue of Kaido having been up in a sky island and then jumping down to Earth. And he apparently did it just out of the blue because his subordinates were yelling for him. They're like, "Where's Kaido?" And he was gone. And then he jumps out of a sky island, so he could have had the dragon powers and flown up there and jumped down. And let's see. Was there other stuff? I'm
Probably.
He's
but that's
got
good.
the tattoos that like dragon scales. He has the
Yeah.
whiskers.
He does have the whiskers, yeah.
And like the whiskers like a Chinese dragon. And also dragons are Oda's like most favorite thing besides lions.
Yeah, and there was some element of irony that Momonosuke was also a dragon. That Kinemon was like, but we hate dragons, sort of thing. So
What if Oda throws us through a loop and he's a European dragon?
Whiskers.
could be. Yeah, I don't know. That would be a little.
What if he
clashing, I
throws
guess.
up for a loop and Momonosuke defeats Kaido? No. What's next?
This dragon. Wets22 says, thanks for taking my question last week. A couple ones this week. Do you think Oda omitted the use of the crew's observation hockey to know how many souls were on Zoe for story progression purposes? In the fight with Roddy, it would have been nice to see Luffy's superior skills by knowing he was already surrounded. And I know the theory on a cap of 10 crew members, but do you think a Mink can join? I'd love to see that. Thanks, guys.
I'd love to see that as well. This arc is kind of making me kind of want to reopen Pandora's box and be like, I'd like another crew member. It would be really cool to have a Mink on the crew because I feel like it would just add a little something. Although Chopper,
I already like Carrot as fitting within the crew because she's an actual fighter. Not like Nami and Robin, so that would set her apart.
Come on, BB, come on.
Or BB, yeah.
No. No, I like the idea of Carrot joining too. That's a good one. Though, yeah, it's not going to happen.
Probably not.
Carrot.
Yeah. And then Stokes Shores, does anyone else notice that BB and Roddy resemble Garp and Sengoku?
You just think Sengoku because Sengoku just had a gorilla. Pone gorilla.
Also the afro, but like I don't see Garp in Roddy at all.
No.
Who was I talking to?
Maybe it's the other way around that he's thinking.
Once the gorilla starts eating crackers, we'll know.
Friend of a mutual friend of me and Stevens Carter mentioned that they could also be based off of Sam Jackson and John Travolta's characters in Pulp Fiction.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
That's probably, I mean, we know Oda loves Tarantino stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to see more of that before that assumption's made. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's it for Reddit.
So, Ed, it's time for our final piece together. It's time for
Piece the Tweet. Yeah.
There you go. Twitter questions, comments, theories. You know the drill. Ed, what do we got?
First one comes from SGamer82. Last week you talked about meeting the warlord's animal themes. Only now does it hit me? Buggy. He's a bug. Get it?
Oh.
I don't know if that's... I like that, but I'm not sure if that's intended.
Yeah. I've raised that as a possible like thematic connection to tie him in, although I think that's more likely just a coincidence.
I think we talked about that when we were first deciding whether or not Buggy actually got, the warlord position. I don't know if you guys remember this back. And I think we mentioned that the name.
I mean, Blackbeard already ruined that whole thing, didn't he?
Yeah, he kind of did.
Yeah. Well, he was only there for like a couple weeks. It's not a huge deal.
Yeah.
What's next, Ed?
Next one is from Jonathan St. Martin. He says, based on his ship's figurehead, do you think Jack may be a mammoth or mastodon mink or devil fruit user? We know so little about him.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in why he needs to wear like a giant metal mask like Duval did.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. He kind of looked, and I think we did mention this, but he kind of has that John Engo look with just that weird thing over his mouth.
Yeah, Oda's been very careful in not showing a lot of his body.
Yeah,
but I mean, basing it off of his figurehead is as good a guess as any, really.
Yeah, what's next?
Next one comes from Patreon supporter Shinjojin, who, following up on our discussion of other characters using Rokushiki, and he had a list made up for Nami with Rokushiki moves, and he linked that in the tweet, so you guys can check that out. Next one comes from Rorono Asanji, who asks, so is there only one type of mink per animal, or is there another polar bear mink other than Beppo? I don't see why there would be any limits on that. I think Oda just likes to draw as many as possible.
Yeah, honestly, it might be like the
Fishman?
The Fishman, right, where parents don't necessarily, factor in the children. And I mean, we haven't seen any two fishmen that are the same, but that doesn't necessarily mean that, it's impossible.
Yeah, we don't get in that huge crowd shot. I'm sure there were some doubles for the 10,000.
I don't think there's like a devil fruit style reason for it. I think it's going to be the same thing as the Fishman, where it's just like Oda wants to draw as many animals as possible because that's cooler.
Yeah, just take away the logic and enjoy the ride.
Or not draw as many as possible. I think it's interesting that he's deserted Zoe I get cut down on the
there's not a lot of people there.
Influx of animals.
Yeah.
Although
I think he's holding it back so you see one at a time and could appreciate.
Well, and we also saw like all the ones flying over Luffy's head in chapter 2. So
they also could be
I think
hiding.
they are blurry, and that's the problem.
Yeah, they're all Sasquatch.
What's next, Ed?
Next one comes from Big Wig Rick, who says, "Finish the joke. Jinbei, Lola's mom, Bonnie, and the Florian Triangle Shadows walk into a bar."
Ouch.
That one hurts.
Try that again.
No,
finish the joke.
No, I want to hear that again because I lost track.
Jinbei, Lola's mom, Bonnie, and a Florian Triangle Shadows walk into a bar.
Yeah, they drop their keys in the bowl.
That's a good joke.
And then the kid asks the mom, "Where do babies come from?" And then the mom says, "The stork." And then the kid says, "Well, who fucks the stork?"
Sounded like Gilbert Gottfried just then.
Yeah, that was a Gilbert Gottfried joke.
Next one comes from Doodoo Magoo. He asks, "Do you think this new arc is going to be another rescue a kingdom from a bad guy story?" I do not. I think we're moving on relatively quickly. I think we're moving on within 30 to 40 chapters.
Wait, save it. We'll do that at the end. What's next?
I'm kind of afraid that it is, just because they all kind of go along that. I mean, the only ones that weren't were like when they were super small, like Long Wing Longland, where it was just like a guy who was there. But we already know that this is it's a dukedom at least. So I don't know. I feel like
Aokiji was on Long Wing Longland. That was the big Long Wing Longland boss.
Okay.
I silenced Stephen X.
I don't know why that's funny to you.
It's hilarious, Jammer. Trust me. What's next, Jim?
All right. Next question comes from Milos, the creator, who asks, "Can we get Viz to officially change Kuma's name to Bisarumi Bear? It's pure gold."
Stephen?
I approve.
Do you have any sway over this?
I like it.
Start asking Alexi. He doesn't want to change it to Zoro, so I'm sure he'll change it back to Bisarumi Bear.
Yeah, that's probably the kind of thing that Alexi would find funny.
He would definitely find that funny. Thank you. Don't actually listen to me.
And he would tweet out, "Check out One Piece this week. We've changed a major name." Type it in.
Tanji Hado, Lolu Flamingo.
Should we explain why that's funny to us?
It's that, and also I'm so happy that there's that bad fan subs Twitter account now. There's like a bunch of like One Piece stuff as you said, dude, that one was your screen cap from over 10 years ago.
It was, and I can tell you it was my screen cap because
which one?
The love pals,
love fellows who are killed by junks. And I am 100% for certain that is my screen cap because I didn't have a way of screen capping something on my computer DVD player that had
Oh wow!
But that is verbatim like what the sub said.
See, they thanks to those people that was the only way we knew that Yama dives like a crazy beef.
Yeah.
We did a whole several episodes on those ridiculous fan subs.
Yeah, way back in the day.
Yeah. What's
Granted,
next?
yeah. Milos has a serious question. Do you reckon Jack will make for a smaller scale confrontation than usual? I don't think Jack's going to be there at all.
I think I'm going to agree with Milos. I think it's likelier he'll be smaller, not quite like Duval, but probably something on a smaller
I think they might have to chase after Jack to get something that he took from the dukedom. That might be it.
Interesting.
That's a good theory.
Interesting, yeah.
It would get them off the elephant pretty quickly.
I don't want to get off the elephant. I like the elephant.
I like the elephant.
Give the other children a turn, Zachary.
Plus, we have to figure out what the elephant knows, because elephants never forget.
Oh yeah,
that's true. They don't.
Mm-hmm.
Chopper has to talk to him.
What's next?
Benedict Johansson asks, if the Admirals were based on American actors, who would you cast?
Oh my
god.
I think Fujitora would be Tom Hanks.
What?
He's got that same melted wax quality to his face.
That's mean. Tom Hanks is a saint.
Tom Hanks is a saint.
I think they should be what's his name? Lee Van Cleef, Clint Eastwood, and Eli Wallach.
There you go. I like it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's a good answer. What's next?
Next one come. Did anyone else have A set of 3. Okay.
No.
Larry Fine, Mo Howard, and Curly Howard.
All right.
They're all dead.
I could see Akainu just in terms of the facial profile being Martin Sheen.
The
He's just a
Wahlbergs.
puffy face.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, the Wahlbergs.
Too many Wahlbergs.
Or
Too many Cosbys.
No. Or or the Baldwins. You'd have Alec Baldwin, you'd have Billy Baldwin, and then you'd have Adam Baldwin, who's not really a Baldwin, but he's yeah.
Is that the one from Firefly?
Yeah, the one who's a Gamergator.
Oh,
and
he's
Stephen Baldwin, who was in Biodome. That was a great movie.
Oh, classic. Pauly Shore at his best.
Oh yeah.
I can't tell if Jeremy's being...
No, that's not even true. Encino Man.
No, you're wrong.
That is true.
Guys,
He didn't wheeze the juice in Biodome.
All right, let's be real.
guys,
A goofy
in the
movie.
army now. Come on,
Yeah, it's true.
I've lost control of this podcast.
These are gems.
son-in-law. You guys are missing the peak of the Weasel's
No,
career.
Encino Man is still the best because it's the peak of Brendan Fraser's and Pauly Shore's career.
I think George of the Jungle was the peak.
No,
Yes.
Or the Mummy. The Mummy.
Oh,
no,
the
the,
Mummy,
peak,
Mummy.
the peak was Bedazzled. Is that what it was
Oh,
called?
No,
God.
it was
Oh,
Bamboozled, right?
Yeah.
No,
No,
Bedazzled. Bedazzled's right.
Bamboozled's a different movie.
Also, Sean Astin was in Encino Man too.
It was.
He's also in Rudy, which
What's
is
the next
extremely
question?
overrated movie, by the way.
Great
I feel
soundtrack,
bad.
though.
Miles is sitting here.
I feel like if you like Rudy, that means you're just a Notre Dame fan. Like
Yeah.
Rudy, come on, like whatever.
Way
Whatever.
to judge everybody.
Let him
Miles
play
is
fucking
sitting
football.
here listening to you guys talking about Pauly Shore movies. I feel terrible.
We moved on
Uh,
to Sean Astin. Thank you very
Next
much.
question comes from 13th President of the United States, Millard Fillmore. Mr. President, what's your question? Who do you guys want to see in the new cover story? Also, do you think that Jack will necessarily be this arc's antagonist?
Well, Mr. Fillmore.
I'm actually kind of curious to see what Walpole's up to because he's still a king now, right? He's going to come to the Reverie, right?
In all honesty, can I ask a question and forgive my ignorance here? Is he an actual king or is he just like a king of a corporation? You know, is he like a metaphorical
Yeah.
king?
Well, it's
I
the
think he
Dark Throne
founded-
Kingdom.
I think he founded his own country.
Oh, you did? Okay.
That's what I think.
Like maybe they're saying it like, you know, he's the king of profit, you know, like he's not an actual king, you know, he's like just the king of, he's a titan of industry, but maybe, no, he might be, it might be literal too.
He's as much king as Donald Trump is president.
Don't make that joke. It might happen.
Exactly.
No,
No,
Trump's on his way out.
it's
He's
not-
on his way out. He's not the center of
so.
attention anymore. He's
He's
gonna-
getting
He's
bored.
still the center of attention. His favorability ratings are actually going up in key states. I don't think he's out of the race yet.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. A
we
lot
have,
of people
we have
like
to
it.
sort our politics podcast, Miles.
I'm down.
I know.
Um,
What was
as
it
far
going
as
to be, Ed, me and you?
the question, I would kind of like to see like just the villains' reactions because we kind of mentioned that earlier, like just them flipping out, like, oh my god, not again.
Crocodile would be in there.
Yeah.
I want to
But
see
would
what
you guys-
Crocodile's up to, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. We haven't seen him for a while.
So do we have any other presidents asking questions or is it just
No, but
Millard Fillmore again?
He had a second question though. Do you guys think that Jack will necessarily be the arc's antagonist?
I still do.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess
the ominous way that she said his name.
Yes,
Yeah,
I agree.
I think, and what I said in response to the last question, he still is the antagonist, but I think they will have to leave the elephant.
No, I don't
You know what
want
they
to
also
leave the
might do?
elephant. No, sorry, go ahead, Miles.
If the elephant turns out to be more of a in-between arc to a bigger arc, which we've talked about a bit, maybe Jack isn't. There's no like main villain of this arc. It's just some sort of more broader conflict rather than here's our one big bad.
Yeah.
Change
Stepping
the
stone.
formula. Yeah.
Or a stepping elephant.
Oh.
I'll leave now.
Said Regina had the same question about the cover story. 91 Ryan thinks that Wanda tells Luffy that his friends are dead. Maybe the Minks only found Brooke sleeping on the ground.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, we
That's
covered that one.
and Himawari323 asks what Frankie's shirt means.
I've seen one good theory. I've seen one good theory, and that is that it's Thousand Sunny backward. So TH and then
Yeah.
a Sunny and then a sun and then an I. But
I
Greg didn't like that.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's just a little like it's not Japanese. Like I don't think it would be apparent enough of a thought process from coming from the Japanese.
Steven,
language.
3D2Y.
Yeah, well, but I don't know. Go ahead, dude.
You might be saying the same thing actually as I. So you go.
Yeah, somebody had pointed out. I'm not sure exactly how you would fit it together. It could be like I because the sun is Taiyo, and so if you read it I Taiyo, which would mean like I want to meet, and then HT would be hentai. I want to meet perverts. I like that theory. That seems as strong as anything to me.
Yeah, there's a similar one that I
Single white pervert.
I eavesdropped a Twitter conversation between Joey and Greg about this thing, and I and then the sun equals AM, like I am HTIM hentai. Like, I like that one.
That's
sound
decent too.
unreasonable.
It's very similar to the one that you just mentioned.
I had a coworker come up to me. I was working on something really hard, and she said, "Miles, what is Frankie's shirt all about?" It was a very jarring question to get like in the middle of the day. I'm like, "What are you even talking about?" And apparently, yeah, I found out about this whole ordeal from that.
It's a very jarring question to get even now. Oh. Okay,
I don't
Yeah.
have an answer.
It's true. His shirt is kind of bullshit.
I'm sure that'll be an SBS question. I mean, I hope it will be.
I love how Jammer gets so angry. Yeah, it's bullshit. Screw that shirt.
I'm just thinking what we're all saying, or saying what we're all thinking. That's what I meant to say.
Good one.
You're doing one of those. Ed, what's next?
Next one is from Sis16 Ben, who asks, "What characters would you like to see under the effects of Perona's Devil Fruit, and what might they say?"
It's got to be someone super confident. So any of the villains would actually be pretty
Like
cool.
Eneru.
I want Doflamingo to get hit and be like, "I'll be the strings on a harp."
Eneru would be like, I'm not holy. I'm not a god at all.
That's the worst thing he could say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I
It
guess
defines his entire character.
That's true.
I'm just schmo who ate a devil fruit. Verbatim, he will say schmo.
Yeah. Who else?
Crocodile's like,
I was a woman all along.
No, why would he say that when he said it?
It's a good point. I don't know. Maybe it'll make him confess his deepest secrets.
I feel like
my sand is all silicon. I want to be a microchip.
I feel like Duval would be like, I'm still only B-list actor material.
I am not handsome whatsoever.
I'm just okay looking now, and I was hideous. What's the next question?
Our very own Chow, and this is our last question. There was someone else who was asking about the speech quirk, but we've explained those pretty quick.
Do you want to explain it again, Stephen?
Yeah. No.
But our very own Chow asks, "Do you think all the minks are from Zoe, or are there any other elephants with giant minkdoms on their backs? Where do you think, and where do you think are all of the unnamed crew members of the Heart Pirates? There were a handful of them seen in Amazon Lily."
Dude, you know what would have been baller? If like it was a line of elephants with their trunks to the tails walking.
Bro.
And they could have hopped from elephant to elephant.
Bro. Baller.
Wow.
Damn it, that's so gangster.
I'm sorry.
that was really unnecessary.
We're getting a little punch drunk. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's the last question. If anyone has a serious answer.
That was a serious answer.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of there being other elements. I mean, I kind of had the theory about the Florian Triangle thing, but
Like
I
the
don't
fishmen,
know.
there's only one place that fishmen are from,
yeah.
even if there is a diaspora. But
I like being a little simpler with the storytelling in that sense.
yeah, that was the last piece of the tweet. And where do you think the other members of the unnamed members of the Heart Pirates are? We saw a few of them back during Amazon Lily.
Maybe they're inside the elephant.
Ooh.
I like
Maybe they
it.
were eaten by the minks.
So that's going to do it for Piece Together. We're going to go into a segment now where we will announce some winners of some contests, announce some new contests, and then we'll round off. You guys ready?
Yes.
Well, I think we have no choice at this point, Zach.
Hey everyone, we're going to go through some contest winners and go through our new contest, but first, our sponsor today is Right Stuff. Right Stuff sells everything anime and manga, and they've recently expanded their figure collection as well, so you could go there, find competitive pricing, and it just... I think everyone here probably has heard of Right Stuff.
I think at least half of my anime collection has been bought at some point through Right Stuff.
And so, check it out, rightstuff.com, 1F. And if you're pre-ordering in an instant a title gets a release, you get it for pre-order. It comes out right away. That is the specialty that Right Stuff has. You can get free shipping for orders over $49 in the US, and for Canadians, orders over $249 are free, and they handle customs paperwork and all of that. No hassle delivery, and everything will be shipped with care. And if you buy any more than 5 years, they also got their Got Anime Savings Club, which we will be giving out some free editions of, I guess you'd call it, within the next few weeks. So keep an ear out for that.
It's definitely helpful if you're looking to buy new anime.
Yeah, and plus you get an extended 90 days for return with that. So if you got any questions, give them a phone call, let them know. Right Stuff, again, rightstuffanime.com. Check them out. They do some great stuff, and I want to give them a big thanks for sponsoring.
And I know one great thing about Right Stuff for sure is like when you pre-order like the newest, like for example, One Piece DVDs, like chances are you usually get them pretty damn early, like compared to a lot of other places. So it's definitely reliable on that front. You're probably gonna be one of the first to get it.
Yeah, I usually get my One Piece DVDs from there, so it's great. It's check them out again, rightstuffanime.com. And through this segment, we also want to announce the winners first of our Scanlation contest. We will be sending you guys emails if you're not regular podcast listeners. So first is Benjamin Rosario from the great Principality, I believe it is, of Puerto Rico in the United States. Madeline Albert, congratulations, from Canada. Mike Cummins from the United States, and James Welch from the United States. So congratulations to all four of you for winning that contest. We mentioned our Dressrosa contest winners. Winner is Huntress Fan. He will be on the show hopefully soon. And Joey Weiser, who predicted it on the podcast, will be hosting his episode with some really special little goodies, including interviews with other artists about One Piece. That's all next week. He is hosting. I get to take a week, quote unquote, off. I still have to edit all of it. So look forward to that next week. We're going to go through chapter 806 with him. That's going to be a lot of fun. But it's time to start our next contest. I know everyone here is very excited. And we have some new prizes. Big thanks to our friends at Crunchyroll as well. Miles, would you like to do the honors and say what one of the prizes will be?
One of the prizes is a year-long membership to Crunchyroll, the Premium Plus offering. So we'll just get your information, add a year of Premium Plus onto your account.
Nice. See?
Bam.
Awesome. Plus, to add on to that, I'm going to throw in a weekly Shonen Jump subscription. So you have the complete One Piece experience for 1 year. I think it's hard to do much better than that. So
Blistering high definition.
in blistering, yes, both the
Speed
manga
of
and the anime.
Japan.
The audience is listening.
So yeah, if you haven't checked out Crunchyroll, you still can. And if you win, even if you buy the account now, you'll still get a free year, right? Tacked on, or I guess starting whenever you would get that.
That's right.
So try it out now. You can see how awesome it'll be if you win. So the contest, as the Dressrosa one is to guess the chapter Zoe will end. And this is difficult since we have no idea where the hell it's going. It could be thousands of chapters or 10 chapters. We have no idea. We're going with Price is Right rules. That is the closest without going over.
And have we established our starting point here?
How do you mean?
What's
The
the
starting
first
point of
chapter?
the arc, yeah.
Oh, the first chapter of the arc, I think, is 801 because that's when we said Dressrosa ended. So either 801 or 802. I don't know if you want to count one as overlapping into the next. So I think 802, I guess, would be the first of Zoe.
Okay.
So anyone have one offhand that they already?
Yeah, I said between 30 and 40 earlier during the
So
piece
you got to give me one number though. Ed.
No, I go 36. 36 chapters.
So 838.
Yeah.
Okay, 838 for Ed. Anyone
I'm
else?
gonna say 840.
840. Okay, so he's
we're all in the
it's
same
kind of
area.
You kind of screwed yourself there, Stephen.
no, he kind of screwed you, Ed.
I'm trying to nail it in one.
It's the closest without going over. So actually, Steven screwed you.
Ah, crap.
Miles, do you have one?
8:45.
845.
Don't be influenced by me. You guys can say it. It'll go longer.
Oh no, mine's
Think
gonna be
about it.
different, dude. Do you have
Okay.
one?
Well, the thing is, I was gonna say one above you guys, and I'm gonna just go a little higher than that.
Yeah, let's not be mean
Sure.
here. Yeah.
All right, guys, get ready. Strap yourselves in. 862.
Ooh,
Wow.
that's actually very close to I think what I was gonna do originally. Jammer.
So I've consulted with my council, and I think we've all decided 828.
Who
Wow,
the
that's
hell is your
short.
council?
Sorry?
That's really short. Shit.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna.
Jammer just wants to get through this. Too fast, too furious.
Wow. I'm ready
I think
to
we
go.
found the episode title, Zach.
There's a lot of possibilities. I guess I'm the last one here. I think I'm gonna go with 873.
We're all going to be
Wow.
fucking embarrassed.
Look, if I don't do something kind of out, the thing is, I thought Dressrosa was gonna be a lot shorter than it was, and I got bit in the ass.
So did Oda.
Yeah, I was the shortest one. I picked 790 for the end of Dressrosa. So
we
I
call
kinda
wishful
regretted that.
thinking.
Exactly. So I'm gonna do the opposite of wishful thinking and be a pessimist and say 873.
Equally wrong in the other direction.
Look, I gotta take a risk. Okay, so we're gonna put up a post soon where you guys could put your own entries. So check out onepiecepodcast.com. It should be coming maybe even with the next few days, even when you're listening to this. And we'll have more as to the rules of this contest, who's qualified to win, blah blah blah. And it's going to be the same rules for all of you out there. If multiple people get it, we'll see how many of the coupons and subscriptions we could give out. Not coupons, the subscriptions that we could give out. And if we have enough, we'll give them to everyone. If we don't, we'll just have to pick one or two or however many we have.
Random number drawing, yeah.
Just like we did for the Shonen Jump subscription contest. So this is going to be a lot of fun. We'll ask the rest of the podcast over the next coming weeks what they think. Hopefully it doesn't end by then. I highly doubt that. No one picked chapter 1. No one did what is it?
That's because chapter 1's gone. Like
No, it's
years ago.
it's the Price is Right rule. If you pick the lowest one, it's anything up. until
806.
Yeah. In retrospect, I was pretty dumb. I should have did like 834 or something because I would have won either way.
You're locked in.
Yeah, I was stupid. Very short-sighted.
No, 828 is not bad. You have the highest gap, I think, at the moment.
Yeah.
One of them. We'll post these on the post as well. I'll see if I could get everyone else maybe offline, so I could post everyone's thoughts. But thank you guys. Looking forward to those results. The winner, remember, of this will get. I'm also going to give something to Joey, so maybe like a piece of One Piece merch as well for amongst us. But also gets to host the podcast, which I will edit, so don't worry. The hard part I will take. But you get to decide what segments, what you want to do. If you just want to do the manga recap and leave, you could do that too. If you're like, screw this shit, I'm just doing that. Anyway, thank you guys. Let's round this thing off.
Let's.
世界中の海を股にかけてゆく雄たけび上げて心が晴れたら出発の合図を響かせゆこう
This has been the One Piece Podcast, episode 392 for the week of Monday, November 2nd. Thank you guys for coming on the show today. This was a long one. I didn't expect it to be quite this long, I don't think. But it was a lot of fun. First, Miles, where could people find you?
So you can find me on twitter.com at Miles Express 999. That's Miles Express 39. I guess I should say it the other way around. You can also find me on the Crunchyroll forums with the same name.
Awesome. Thank you, Miles, again. It's always a pleasure having you on. Hope to have you on again soon,
No,
too.
glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm sorry these things go on a while. I want to keep you. I know you're busy.
Happy to be here.
All right. Thank you for coming on again. Dude, where can people find you?
Well, as always, Zach, you guys can find me at Dude Exclamation on Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, and that's it. Also, superartfight.com. You can go there for Super Art Fight related stuff. We've got a show coming up in Washington, D.C. at the Black Cat, December 4th. That's a Friday. It's our non-denominational holiday spectacular, second year in a row. It should be a lot of fun. And, hey, are you in Philadelphia? And will you be in Philadelphia this Saturday night at 8:30?
No.
Well, if you are, me and my improv troupe, the Female Accent, are coming to your town for the Philadelphia Improv Festival. You can go to Eventbrite and get tickets for that if you want. We're in the 8:30 block. It's going to be a fun time. Say hello if you're there. I guarantee you're probably not gonna, but you
Love
should.
the confidence.
But you should. You're not gonna, but you should.
Jammer, where can people contact you?
Oh, wait.
Oh,
also,
no.
Also,
Oh, no, it's Jammer. Why are you interrupting yourself?
Sorry, guys. Sorry. Just so you guys know, the dude also has a guest comic that he did for creatorscomic.com that ended last week, and you guys should check it out. If you're a One Piece fan, there's something in there you might recognize.
It's so selfless of you to mention that, Jammer, during your plug, so I guess that's your plug.
Whoa, calm down there, buddy.
Okay, I'm
Not
sorry.
done yet.
You could keep going.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Jam the Writer. You could also check out some of my books on Amazon. You could search under the name Joseph Jammer Medina. And I got a new book, Dangerous Faces Volume 2, that just came out. You can get it in print or on Kindle, and many other coming on down the ways in like the next week or so. I'll be putting it up like on Nook and Kobo and stuff like that and various other platforms. So Dangerous Faces Volume 2, check it out.
Buy my book! Buy my book! Buy my book!
Steven.
You can follow me on Twitter at Translatosaurus. Read my work in the pages of Weekly Shonen Jump. And I believe...
Bye, Shonen Jump! Bye, Shonen Jump!
No, seriously, buy Shonen Jump.
Yeah, please do. And I believe later this week is when the first chapter of Platinum End comes out. That's the new joint from Oba and Obata, the Death Note Dream Team. So yeah, and those are monthly chapters, so those are going to be real long. So you'll be getting your money's worth. Even buying them individually like that, and yeah, I think that's about it.
Cool. Looking forward to next week's chapter. Which did that take 6 hours or 3 hours?
No, it did not take 6 hours.
Okay, good.
I'm getting under control.
Nice. It's good to hear. Ed, where could the good people out there contact us?
Zach, they can contact us at onepiecepodcast.com, twitter.com, youtube.com, and facebook.com/onepiecepodcast, reddit.com/r/onepiecepodcast. OnePiecePodcast at gmail.com is our email address. One Piece Podcast is our Skype name. Subscribe on Stitcher, subscribe on SoundCloud, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, or call us on our phone number. Zach?
Ed, that phone number is 347-497-MAJI. That phone number again is 347-497-6254. Call anytime.
Anytime.
With your questions, your comments, your theories. Thank you all for coming on the show today. I just want to give one little last reminder that for those who do enter the Zoe contest, we're going by the same rules as we did for the Dressrosa one, and that is when they sail away. Which was very hard to determine in the last one, but we're gonna keep that rule. It's when they're off the island on a boat leaving. So I think that was at 8:01, 8:02 last time. So that's when it'll be for next time. This week on the site, also don't miss Peace Out, and the One Piece read through for Dressrosa is coming out on Thursday. So if you haven't, reread all of Dressrosa again.
Hey, it's not that hard. I made it through about like a third of it in one day today. So,
and Miles, it goes pretty fast, right?
No.
Thank you for the encouragement, Miles. We'll see you guys next week. We're going to have Joey Weiser hosting. After that, we're going to probably be having Josh Kosharek on, and following that, Roger Space will be joining us. So look forward to all of that. We'll see you next week, everyone. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Achim.
What should we do?
We have to offer him more.
That's what it was. We have to offer him more. Oh my god. I died. I fucking died. Like I died when I watched the clip, and then I almost fucking pissed my pants at my desk at work while I was watching OPP Dallas.
You
I
should
love
have
that
seen.
you had the video of you doing the motion. Give him more.
Hey, you pointed.
You should have seen everyone else. You should have seen everyone else laughing on the other side of the wall. Steve literally fell down in laughter. No, we have to offer him more.
I just like your reaction was like, give me a break. Come on.
Why was Jammer the best at it?
Yeah, Jammer was fucking great, actually. Like, his delivery when I first heard it was like, wow, that's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Pretty good. Like, you emphasized... You emphasized all the right words that anime dubbing should emphasize.
Dude, you're only saying that because you have his voice.
Well,
He projected himself into the situation.
if I was there... thank you, yeah. If I was there, I probably would have done a Brian Drummond Vegeta.
Ah.
All right, here we...